Okay, what's up, people? I hope you can hear me okay. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry that it's a day late. I had a really difficult day yesterday, just normal life things. So I thought I'd rather come live to you guys when I was feeling back to myself. So I'm really glad to be live tonight. I've been really looking forward to this stream. And we're just going to bask in the glory of defeating Man City. I still can't quite believe it. I don't know about you guys, but thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let's say hello. Audio all good. Thank you. I'm glad. It's been very stressful. I've been struggling with the slides, but hopefully we'll do our best. So, hi Fran. For once, I'm not raging. I don't think anyone should be raging. I think enjoy this win as much as is humanly possible. So it's still very exciting for me. Hello, Phil. Thank you so much for joining me. And let's get into the start of the presentation. You know how it is, guys. You know how it is. So let's go. Oh, there we are. So yeah, make sure. Sorry, it's a bit of a stressful start today, but anyway, we did it. I still can't quite believe that Arsenal managed to beat Man City a couple of days ago. I'm kind of in a state of like, did that really happen? Was it actually a dream? But yeah, we did it. And thank you guys for joining me tonight. Hello, Stacey, big friend of the Gooner Gathering channel. Great to see you. And thank you for joining me, Gooner Gathering, guys. So we actually did it. And there you go. That just shows just how much it meant to Martinelli. And we're going to get into all of it. So we're going to get into lineup thoughts, a quick match overview. So first half, second half, a bit about the goal, and then some really interesting stuff about the tactics, substitutions, and some best pictures from the match and stuff. And of course, player ratings, my favorite bit, your favorite bit, everyone's favorite bit. If you can't wait till player ratings, then come back in about 15 minutes. But we've got some really interesting stuff coming before then, because I'm also a bit of a stat nerd, but not too much of a stat nerd. I don't understand some of the stats. But anyway, so of course, we ended up winning 1-0. And if you guys were there in the preview, that was, in the end, I was hesitant to predict a win. But in the end, I predicted that we would win 1-0. And what we did in the preview was talk about what kind of tactics we should use. And Arteta ended up doing all of them and just focusing on the defence. And I really think it's shown me, at least, that Arteta is definitely at the level needed to take us to the Premier League title. I had a few doubts about things like stubbornness in his style of play, but this has just really confirmed to me on the most important stage, arguably, of our season, that he does have what it takes, and it's a huge evolution in his style of management. So we're going to get into it. As Gooner Gathering says, smash the likes. I forgot all the intro stuff. So yeah, smash the likes. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Are you still like super gassed about this result? Because I am. Also, if you don't know me, last time someone didn't know my name. So my name is Fran. And oh, I might be able to show that while I'm talking. Nope, I don't know. Still getting used to StreamYard. And I'm an artist, so you can see my portraits behind me of Arsenal players, but I also just love to chat endlessly about football. Phil calling me out, saying I certainly had doubts. If we lost, I thought you were going Arteta out. Good evening, Fran, watching from Scotland. Very windy here. I love Scotland. So on that comment, for me, it was though such a... It wasn't just a one game like reactionary thing though, because I've seen 2 or 3 times. In fact, like the last 5 years or however long Arteta's been here, when we've played City. And I think Arteta coming and being refusing to bend his tactics, and it suggested like a wider pattern of not adapting to each game and, you know, refusing to show respect to teams that are normally better than us and just stubbornness. So for me, it was very much like, if in this game he can show that he can adapt against Pep and drop the attacking philosophy and in fact play that one match to win, then it shows like this huge maturity that I haven't seen so far. But if again he had just gone with the same tactic that hasn't worked for the last 5 years, then I would have genuinely felt very frustrated and wondered, like, is he ever gonna change this approach towards City? And so it did mean a lot. A lot was riding on it, and luckily he absolutely pulled it out the bag, and Arteta deserves all the praise today. It was absolute genius what he did, and I'm so happy for him. Hey, good to see you guys. I'm so sorry again that I saw people's comments yesterday and then I had to postpone. But yeah, it doesn't matter. We're here now. So let's go. So lineup thoughts. Quite a few people quite unhappy with the lineup. So it was Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Reiss and Jorginho in midfield, and then Odegaard, Trossard, Jesus, and Nketiah. So I did a tweet, I think, and a little post saying that I was actually quite happy about the lineup, because what we had been asking for in the preview was a double pivot. We were hoping for Partey and Reiss, but obviously Partey was not fit to start, or maybe it was tactical because Partey did come on later. But I kind of saw Jorginho and thought, good, like he's quite a defensive-minded player and good at controlling games and being calm. And to me, that signified that we were going to go into it cautiously and worrying about not conceding, basically, before going all out attacking. So what I really wanted, you guys remember you were calling me so negative, saying, like, focus on the defence first. Don't worry about scoring goals. We need to be really solid and structurally sound. So seeing Jorginho made me think that. However, I was still annoyed at Jorginho for giving the ball away versus Spurs. So this was kind of a, you can make it up to me, Jorginho. Like, today's the day. And in the end, I think he has made it up to me. And I'd like to formally apologise to Jorginho for my lack of faith in him. He actually played really well. But we will get into player ratings. And also at the end, I'm going to do a Q&A. So any questions you do, I'm going to star them. I've just seen Arsenal Manic do a question. Yes, Gil, maybe Arteta has finally found a plan B. This is why I was so excited to see the way that we were playing, and I would have been so gutted if he was still like stubbornly trying to play attacking football against Pep. No one beats Pep that way, really. You have to play defensively and hit them when they don't expect it. So yeah, a plan B, I mean, incredible. And hopefully we can bring that kind of tactic into Europe for the harder games in the Champions League. We're going to talk all about the tactics, how it worked. I'm still so excited. So Phil saying Rami would have been the only change for me. Yes. I did want, I think I wanted Ramsdale to start. However, do you think that Ramsdale would have been able to play in the way that Raya had been instructed to play and not concede? Raya was really, really close, but he was able to kind of calm down a little bit. I think Rambo would have just got like quite flustered perhaps, but I don't know. Raya definitely did get flustered too. We'll talk all about the player ratings, don't you worry. So hello, Arsenal Manic, so good to see you. Well done for getting your words out. Praising Jorginho must have been hard. It was hard, but he's made it up to me. Me and Jorginho are good now. We're buddies. Jack, hello, saying big up Fran. Arteta knows what he is doing. It's not easy as we sit and watch the game. I don't know. I felt quite confident throughout the game because the team looked so like patient and calm. And, you know, there are a couple of hairy moments, but I don't know. I kind of had faith in them. But I mean, it felt like we got away with it a little bit at the beginning. So we'll do a quick match review, and there were certainly a few dodgy moments. So, yeah, Gooner Gathering was so impressed with the shield in front of the defence. So, Jorginho was basically, and Reiss were just that shield. So, and the defenders were all quite disciplined as well. There wasn't... Zinchenko, I noticed, was tracking back a lot more than he usually does. But anyway, Lineup thoughts. We'll get into how the players did in a minute. But the lineup thoughts, I was feeling really hopeful that it would mean that it was quite a defensive focused team. We weren't going to go all out. I was happy to see Trossard because I think he's really like techie. Nketiah, I could see the logic of. You guys know he's not my favourite player, but if we're going to try and maybe do some long balls or go on the break, Nketiah's a good target man, a little fox in the box. Hello, Anthony and Loki. I'm here because of the Bergkamp. Yes, Danny from the Bergkamp Wonderland. He's awesome. And Phil. Thank you so much, guys. I love this. That's awesome. Anyway, I've got to get on with the show, but thank you so much. It's really cool to see a few new names here. So, lineup thoughts, I was pretty happy. Some people were worried to see Jorginho, but it wasn't too shocking. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot to mention that Saka wasn't available. That's obviously the first thing with the lineup. So it appeared that the whole Saka's going to be fit and ready to play was a double bluff just to kind of set Pep on the back foot. That's what I thought, basically. But yeah, so no Saka. Hello, Gooner Matters. Hello. Hope all is good. I've seen your name pop up recently. I can't remember where, but thank you so much for jumping in the chat. Haaland is still missing. I saw a missing poster on my street today. Yes, good joke. Anyway, yeah, and as Phil says, we can't believe anything Arteta says. I think, obviously, I'm sure he'd want us fans to know, but he can't put anything out in the public that he doesn't want the opposition manager to know, so we can't know, or but yeah, it's really annoying. So just don't trust him on anything he says. Right, first half, Jorginho. So first half started, and there were actually a couple of quite hairy moments. I'm going to get my notes up, but like the basic things that I noticed straight away was that we were not overcommitting forwards and not going all out attacking, which I was really happy to see. Both teams were kind of saying like, go on, you break us down. Both managers kind of approached it in exactly the same way, saying like, try and get through us then. And I thought that was really cool to see Pep also not going all out attacking against us, which showed kind of a sign of respect for Arsenal. So it really was quite a stalemate, but I mean, I thought at the beginning that it was going to be we were going to be troubled a lot more than we were, because about 4 minutes in they had a corner and Raya like came all the way across, and in fact like the ball went back past him and Reiss cleared it right off the line. Fantastic clearance, like lucky escape. Ake had another chance straight after him. Raya actually was there in the position to save it, but so he would have saved it, but it ended up going over the bar. So there are a couple of like, oh my gosh, moments. But the thing was that we rode that early wave. It's a bit like going to Anfield and just like hanging on for the first few minutes. And in fact, that felt scary, but sorry, I just got distracted by something. It doesn't matter. Basically, I'm on my notes and I saw a note about my grandpa, and he passed away last week, so that just like sent me off a little bit. But anyway, whatever. Anyway, on to the next bit. First half, we got away with it, and hello, Brenny, hello, quite literally, and it's War Games. I have invited you to come on my show and saw you Arsenal. Yes, of course. Sorry, I'm so disorganized with like my WhatsApps and stuff. Ask me in a gathering, I literally never reply. I'm really sorry. It's the same with like my friends and everyone. So yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Gooner Matters, is it the... Actually, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it at the end. Anyway, first half, Eddie also had a good chance at their end, missed it by about 5 meters though. Oh, thank you, Arsenal Manic. Sorry, I got my head a bit out of the game there, but City were poor for me, says Phil. Everything went through Foden, who just wanted a foul every time he fell over, and Haaland destroyed by King Saliba. Oh my gosh, Haaland and Saliba, that was just iconic. He just flicked him aside like a fly. Hey, Jordan. Everyone remember to subscribe to Jordan's Liverpool channel. Thank you so much for jumping in. I know we're a couple of days late, but we need to just extend the happiness about this result for as long as possible. Anyway, first half ends 0-0. We'll get more into the players' performances in player ratings, so hang on in there. Half-time thoughts. So what were you guys thinking at half-time? I personally was really quite happy. I kept saying to my partner, like, we haven't conceded yet, which is probably quite negative. Well, definitely is quite negative, but you know how it is against Man City. So I was really happy and wanted us just to continue this patient defensive play. I was so impressed with our defensive structure. Jorginho had been great. We hadn't conceded. City weren't getting much for sniff. And we're quite good at scoring at home. So I was thinking just ride it out and hopefully we'll get an opportunity later on in the game, which is, what ended up happening. So hopefully you guys felt like that at halftime too. We love your friend, love you guys too. Everyone subscribe to Gooner Gathering, of course. And Phil, quite right, the same as me, thinking this is winnable. I think 0-0 was a really good score for us to enter into the second half. So often against City, we're down by half time, and I think that would have given the players a lot of confidence in the dressing room. And we did come out and play much better in the second half. As Phil said, he was so happy to see Martinelli come on, a breath of fresh air. Honestly, it was so good seeing. So second half, obviously, Martinelli comes on at half time. Apparently, Trossard felt something in his hamstring or something on about the 30th minute, and he went on to half time. But then was taken off and come on for Martinelli, and just immediately Martinelli just lit up the pitch. Gooner Gathering said I was praising the 0-0 score after 17 seconds. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Mile High Hotspur, the nicest Hotspur YouTube channel out there. Big up to you too. Big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. As I said, it's just been like a difficult week for me, so it's really cool that you're all here. And yeah, talk to each other. That's so cool. Just converse with each other, you know. So Brenny, at halftime, your thoughts were, at halftime, I thought we could win this. We looked scared first half. Second half, we wanted it more. The belief was there to see. Yeah, but I was so happy that it looked like we wanted it more, but we were still so cautious. I was noticing players like Zinchenko going up for a little bit of an attack, but then like tearing back so quickly once we lost possession. I thought it was just constantly, we were so vigilant, like for their quick attacks as well. And I was so happy to see that. Zinchenko was dropping back all the time, and it was amazing. So yeah, second half, Martinelli comes on, absolute breath of fresh air. All the attacks in the first half had been going up the right-hand side with Jesus, who played awesomely, but there was nothing going on the left-hand side. Trossard just looked off the pace, and we'll talk about him in player ratings. But yeah, anyways, so Arsenal kind of dominated the second half really in terms of chances. In fact, the whole game we had so many more chances than them, and we'll show you that in the stats and stuff. But I think the most amazing part of the second half was Arteta's substitutions, and you guys know that I've criticised him like making like substitutions that just seem like to not make sense at all, and they're too late. But he brings on Tomiyasu for Zinchenko, and that was to respond to Pep bringing on Doku, who's like this rapid, threatening winger guy. So he brought Tomiyasu on like a minute afterwards, because Doku was trying to exploit like Zinchenko, as we know, who like sometimes goes infield and stuff. But yeah, so Arteta said, all right, well, here's Tomiyasu, try and get past Tomiyasu. And Tomiyasu is such a disciplined defender. And so Pep immediately just told Doku, like, switch sides and then try and have a go at Ben White instead, because he knows Tomiyasu's too good. And Ben White was amazing, actually, as well. I think, was it Doku? I'm not sure how to say his name, but was it him he nutmegged? Because that was just, like, beautiful. And anyway, Havertz came on for Nketiah. Nketiah had been like good doing his usual nuisancey stuff, but really didn't really have much service, but he did kind of what he was meant to do. So Havertz came on and Partey also came on, and then we saw that in the 87th minute or 82nd, whenever it was that we scored, that all 4 substitutes were involved in the goal. So I think it just validated like Arteta's choices and stuff. And honestly, I know it's only one game, but it's put so many doubts to bed for me, at least for now, unless I see like foolishness in the future about Arteta's like process and decisions and things. So yeah, we held it out until full time. I was just telling you there about the substitutions. Let me hide this comment. Guys, the comments are flying. Thank you so much. As you might have seen at the beginning, we're trying to get to 45 likes today. That's higher than ever before, and that would be awesome if you could. So thank you. Right, let's have a couple of looks at your comments. So Gil saying, we seem to nullify our attacks by going sideways and backwards. Really frustrating. I kind of saw it in a different way, though, and saw it as us, like, just calmly, like, taking our time and not overcommitting forwards, kind of keeping the ball and waiting for, like, the right opportunity rather than sending everyone forward and just being left open at the back. But, I mean, it definitely did look a bit like that sometimes. It sounds like you celebrating and dancing, Lee, and not watching the game. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that back then. Mile High Hotspur through gritted teeth, saying fair play to you lot. In the end, grabbed the 3 points. I didn't expect you to. You know, I didn't. In the end, I did predict a 1-0 win, but it took a lot of like talking into that from the chat, saying like we can do it. So yeah, Brenny saying 100%. We were cautious, but Martinelli was on it. Very dangerous. Martinelli was so good. Benny 10, too early. Ben 10. Don't worry, we'll get to player ratings. Anthony, thank you for the question. I will star it and save it for 15 minutes, so time when we've got a little Q&A. So if you're still there, yeah, hang on. I'll save the questions. So Gwen, hey, nice to see you again. Saying, told you last time, Jorginho in the midfield is much better than the whole Havertz idea. Controlling games is the key, and with Havertz, we can't control. Yeah, certainly. I think Jorginho is such a good choice for this game, and Havertz is getting better, but I think he wouldn't have been solid enough. We definitely needed 2 defensive players in the midfield for this one. And as we know, Havertz is a bit more of an attacker, really, by nature. So, 101 on Arsenal. Guys, I hadn't heard of this channel because I've been living under a rock, but they are just absolutely amazing. The guy, Apollo, what a cool name, runs this channel, and he's got this massive like community on Facebook and stuff. And if I'm right in thinking, your company like filmed the All or Nothing documentary. I think that's what you said. So it's absolutely mad. These guys are awesome. And I was on their show the day before yesterday, so I wasn't around on my channel, but I was visiting Gooner Gathering and 101 on Arsenal. Really enjoyed the chat. He just loves the tactics and he's really good at explaining them. Much better at explaining than me. So if you're not subscribed, go and subscribe to 101 on Arsenal. Gooner Forever, hello, saying, Fran, brilliant defensive performance against Man City. We turned into George Graham Arsenal, reducing this Man City team to 4 shots. Fair play, but this is just the beginning. I want this in every game. I don't want this particular style in every game. I totally agree with you, by the way. But I want this, like, I want to see, I don't know, do you know, I want Arteta to continue adjusting, like, game per game, which is definitely what we saw in this game, rather than last season. It was just like, these are my 11 players. This is the style we play. Let's see how far we can, like, bulldoze our way towards the league. But I think we've seen more subtlety from him this season in terms of, like, different playing styles and plan Bs. So I really want to see that keep going rather than the whole like stubborn 11-man squad. This is our style, which I was getting so annoyed about last year. So Fran, Saliba and Gabriel, we haven't had a partnership like that since Toure and Campbell. Yeah, they were immense, and we will go ham on that partnership in player ratings. Hello, Taib. Good evening. Hey, 23 likes already. That's mad. That's like by far the most I've had. So thank you so much. Fran, do you think Arsenal will sign Ivan Toney in January? Ooh, save it for the Q&A. Gooner Gathering said it was so important to get the win. Oh my gosh, yeah. We might have been complaining about certain City players' rash challenges. Should we just talk about that now? yeah, let's talk about that now. So full-time thoughts. The Kovacic first challenge, I honestly thought that Odegaard had like a long-term injury. The way that he came in, studs up, right on Odegaard's ankle. I was sat there thinking like, oh my gosh, we've lost Odegaard. I really thought especially with that bad injury to, I can't remember which player it was earlier on in the week with a similar like ankle breaking horrible injury. I was just worried that would happen to Odegaard because it looked really bad. So you can see why that one in itself didn't get a red. Although I think it should have. It's really like dangerous play. You don't go sliding in at someone's ankle with no chance of getting the ball with your studs up. Like, no, that you can't let players keep doing that. Someone is going to get their ankle broken. But anyway, whatever. Yellow card. But then he's got away with it, like so clearly that you'd think if he was going to do even anything remotely like rash or stupid, then the ref's going to have no choice but to send him off. And just Mikel Oliver, the second crunching tackle went into Declan Reiss, which was also a dangerous tackle, just went, no, he wasn't even hearing it. It was absolutely like crooked, I think, and definitely a case of like a directive, I reckon, from the PGMOL to like, this is a big game, everyone's really looking forward to it. Don't let it go down to 10 men too early. And I guess a bias towards Man City, who are the treble winners, like, oh, we're not going to let them go down to 10 men. They're the best team in the world, like, and giving them like the benefit of the doubt. And also there's talk about the refs. You know, this is like a conspiracy theory, but apparently Mikel Oliver 3 days ago was refereeing, I think, in the Saudi league. And then people are saying conspiracy theories about, I don't know. Either way, what did you guys think about that? It was awful. Let's look at a couple more of your comments while you tell me about what you thought. Guys, these comments are going mad. Thank you so much. I'm seeing a few new names as well. Hello, Shivan. Still think City will win the league, but Mano did not see that result coming on Sunday. So are you a Man United fan? I think I can see that from your badge. Yeah, it is quite tasty to prove like everyone wrong. I think I also find it quite funny that like everyone was watching, waiting for Arsenal to fail. And as well as us winning, it was also like a really boring game for if you weren't supporting one of the teams. So just like, screw you. So I'm going to come back to your comments, guys. Thank you so much for like talking to each other. Hey, Lottie. My sister's here and Gooner Gathering as well, saying Kai did well. This is by far like the most people and comments I've had in a stream. So thank you so much. Yeah, Gil saying, great plan B, but don't want Jose Mourinho style football all the time. We do play the beautiful game very well. Yeah, but I think like we saw periods in the match where we did play it and times where we did just sit back and like be a bit more conservative. Oh, thank you, Malai Hotspur, saying, Fran, just wanted to stop by and show some love. Thank you so much. I know like there are other people to watch and you got things to do. So even if you just listen for a couple of minutes, that's like awesome. Thank you so much for coming in and commenting. That's so sweet of you. So you're my favorite Gooner channel. Chat, like the stream. Much love, Golartzo. Much love to you, Malai Hotspur. We do need to collaborate soon. Just keep hassling me. And Mr. Arsenal podcast, everyone subscribe to Ryan, like legend, like one of the OGs. So, and Gwenfis saying, if you remember, it's actually the same tactic as the Community Shield. New approach, Arteta finally realised he can't play City and Liverpool, I hope. And being too open, it's just 1-0 to them or to us. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to get into like the tactics and stuff. And if you were here on the preview, we spoke about how I wanted us to emulate the way that we played the Community Shield and treat this like a cup game, but conservatively, you know. More new people in the chat. Thank you so much. Right. So the tactical battle, this is just the bit that Gwenfis was talking about. So these are a couple of slides that you saw from the preview, and we looked at how Arsenal beat them in the Community Shield a few weeks ago, and also how Wolves did it. And it was basically, not all of this came to fruition, but the idea was just being really defensively strong, out-battling them in the duels and things. You can't see that slide up there, but it was patience and resilience. We wanted a defensive double pivot, and basically organise defence, run at them with pace on the break. So that was how Wolves beat them, how we beat them in the Community Shield. And I was just so happy to see Arteta setting up like that, because it's so against the way that Arsenal have been playing, and we've only really seen it in cup games from him. But he, I think, was able to say, like, okay, the rest of the league knows we can play good football. Like, I've proven that. And I think the reason why I said that he's leveled up is because now he's saying, okay, they know that, so now I'm going to prove that I can completely turn it on its head and also master a completely different style of football with my amazing players, my amazing defenders, and still win. So basically, this says if we need to, we can do this. We've done it against the best team in the world. Yeah. So if there are any other tough match, we've showed that we can like play really defensively and get them on the break, but also that we can play really fluid attacking football against like the lesser teams. So I think he's just shown like the portfolio of different styles that the team can play now, and that he is willing to adapt, which is just massive, I think. And I have just seen Fritz Fuad. Bro, it's been too long. It's been too long. I nearly met up with him in Cardiff because I was doing a battle reenactment. But unfortunately, it was like a little bit too complicated. But I hope you're well too. Are you happy with the result? You must be gassed. You must be gassed. So, hello, Dave saying, all I heard since the match, City were missing players, thought they had massive strength in depth. Apparently not. Anyway, yeah, I'm so fed up with that because people don't acknowledge we're missing arguably our best defender, Timber. Partey couldn't start, Martinelli couldn't start, Saka couldn't start. I'm not having it. Not having it. So, right. This defensive shape that we've been so excited about, or at least I have. I'm flying, baby. Yeah, boy. Shivan saying those arts are amazing. Did you draw them? Yeah, I drew the stuff behind me. So I always say if I have a terrible like take on a football match, that doesn't matter because my main thing is art. So I don't call myself a pundit. just look at my art. Who cares? Yeah. Anyway, so thank you very much. I'm gonna do some Man U art and like stuff from other clubs soon. So hang on in there. And thank you for the compliment. Phil saying there's no pod like a Fran presentation pod. You know I love my presentations. Right, so defensive shape. Here you can see just a screenshot. I'm probably going to get copyright stricken or something of the way that we were defending. So it was like it was basically 3 rows of like 5, 3, 2. But basically the thing was that when they did get the ball back, it was 10 of our men behind the ball, which we barely ever see. And they stayed in this really, it's too complicated for me to even understand like the way that we defended. You'd have to look at like James Lawrence Alcott or something, or Arseblog. But for me, I just noticed everyone was staying in their positions really rigidly and moving left and right, left and right. And not everyone was pressing. So only one player would go up really and put pressure on their players, and everyone else was just staying in their positions, making it really, really hard for them to break us down. And as you can see from that stat, Man City registered just 4 shots at the Emirates. That's the lowest tally from Pep's 274 Premier League matches as a manager. What a stat. What a stat. Oh, I've just seen that. I'm so sorry, Dave. So your mum passed away last week. She was an Arsenal fan and loved Dennis Bergkamp. Well, Dave, I'm gonna draw Dennis Bergkamp next. And maybe we could dedicate it to your mum. That would be. I'm so sorry. My grandpa, it's not the same, but also passed away last week. So I know how you feel. And football, I love to hide in football and like just to feel happy for a bit rather than thinking about the sad things. And that's my sister. I'm very sorry about that. But everyone, if you could show some support to Dave, lovely guy, very supportive of the channel. I'm so sorry, and we're here for you. So yeah. So you might see the Game of Thrones graphic below, and that was basically how I thought Man City's attacks looked. So it's like the Dothraki, full of hope, and then I don't know if you've seen Game of Thrones, but then we just saw all of their torches just get extinguished by the army of the dead, like the Night Army. All the torches just went out, showing that this massive attack had just like fizzled into nothing. And that was basically what Man City's attacks were like. Our back four was so immense that they just came to nothing, absolutely got absorbed by the might and strength of Saliba and Gabriel. Did Haaland play on Sunday? That's a very good question. Thank you guys for being so lovely to Dave in the chat. I'm so sorry, Dave. I can't imagine. But yeah, so basically from that performance, I was mentioning how Pep was also very respectful of Arsenal, which is something like we haven't totally seen. Normally he just like destroys us, right? 5-0 at the Etihad, things like that. It reminded me of the Ali G meme where he's like, respect. If you've seen Ali G, then you know the moment. But it was nice to see Pep also sitting back off us and playing basically a very similar kind of stalemate style of football. So that was very, very cool to see. Let's have a look at a couple of your comments. Howard Webb tried to justify the Kovacic thing with Michael Oliver is being one of the best in the Premier League. So if he is so clueless, then the standard of referees are very low. Yeah, I mean, if Michael Oliver is one of the best in the Prem, then the standard of refs are very low. Especially because it's just the irony that he was so eager to show Martinelli that double yellow like last season, and then Kovacic does something way worse, and if he doesn't get a double yellow, it's an absolute joke. Anyway. We are an hour ahead of you lot in the UK, so we will chat again. Thank you so much again for coming in, Gooner Matters. Really lovely to see you, and we will collaborate soon. Definitely just go to bed when you need to. There's no guilt. You guys don't have to stay here. Like, it's okay. But I just appreciate you coming in and say hello. Niall saying, wow, this has been a great show. Niall, you haven't seen. We've upgraded. We've got PowerPoints now. Right. So stats. Yes, prepare yourself for stats on the Game of Thrones thing. Just very quick stats, very quick stat chat. Then we'll get into player ratings, which is the best bit. So brace yourself. Stats are coming. And you're lucky. Today it's only one slide of stats. So, but you know, we can't go through it without some stats. Right. So this was the really interesting thing, because people were saying that Arsenal are the ones that kind of got away with it in the first half. But over the course of the entire match, obviously, we had 100% more goals than them because we had one and they had none. Clean sheet at home. First time this season. It's against Man City. So that's pretty awesome. But we had 12 shots to their 4. 4 shots from anywhere on the pitch is just outrageous. We had 2 shots on target to their 1, which they only had 1 shot on target the whole game, which is just unheard of. Unheard of. Blocked shots, we had 4 shots towards them that were blocked, and they just had 1. We had 6 shots from outside the box. 2 of them were Odegaard just like sending it up into the rafters, but we move, you know. 6 shots outside the box to their 1. 6 shots inside the box to their 3. They had a bit more shooting accuracy. Our shooting accuracy was 16.7% and theirs was 25%. But I think it's to me, it didn't feel like we had that many more shots than them, but the stats don't lie. To me, it felt, those stats were quite surprising to me. Let me know what you think. So Prince Fuad saying, Fran, Ivan Toney in the transfer market, 60... You definitely mean 60 million because you've put 60 quid price tag. Yeah, no, 60 million price tag. I would get him, but then also have someone that's going to challenge Jesus, like perhaps an even better one that's going to raise. Because I'd say they're kind of comparable, Jesus and Toney, like just with different qualities. I want a big boy striker like Osimhen, who's like really uncomfortable at Napoli right now. I don't think he's a striker, but he's a goal scorer. Anyway, if Toney's available, get him. Love a 1-0 win, says Dave. Phil says he's got nowhere to go. Let's keep going to. A boyfriend is annoyed. He's good. He's playing FIFA right now. So we're fine for a while. Prince Fuad, big up. Yes, 60 quid sounds like a great deal for Ivan Toney. Nah, I know you mean 60 million. But yeah, anyway. So these are Premier League standings after that match. It's really annoying. And Spurs, I just hate them this season. The Spurs fans, I'm sorry, apart from Mile High Hotspur, they're so up themselves this season. They remind me a bit of us Arsenal fans last season before we get humbled. So I really hope we got humbled, because we were saying, like, we're going to win the league. We're going you know, although it looked like we were. But anyway, they're like that this season. So I really want them to bottle it. They are Spurs, so they will bottle it. And I can't wait, to be fair. So anyway, they're really annoying me, because they're just really giving it the big and saying, like, oh, you thought you were top of the league, but no, it's us. Yeah, so anyway, we are joint top of the league in terms of points. They just got 2 more goals than us. Woohoo, big whoopee. But, you know, we'll take it. We're above Man City. That's the main thing. 2 points above them. So, yeah. Also, Aston Villa are up there doing really well. Unai Emery masterclass. Brighton, then West Ham, then Newcastle. So, yeah, there we are going into the international break. I'm going to take it as we're joint top, not that we're second. So hopefully you guys will do that too. Spurs won't last long. I think they will get top 4 this season. Yeah, I see it, but I hope not. Ends man, amazing. Liverpool guys, really great channel as well. Please subscribe to them. Thank you so much for jumping in and saying hello. Sup Fran in chat, how's it going? Connor, my guy, I'll get you on soon, because your football knowledge is like 100 times better than mine. Anyway, so let's do a very quick press conference reaction thing. I thought this was really funny. So you're actually going to laugh at this thing. I'll just read this out to you, because it's just Arteta doing like another weird press conference. Okay, I'm just going to read it all out, but wait till the last bit, because that part's really funny. So, Arteta said that it feels like a big win, as well as praising, this is the part, the big ones, of David Raya and Gabriel Martinelli. Make of that what you will. I got this off the Arsblog website. So Arteta told Sky Sports, I'm so proud. We discussed this. We had to make this happen, and there were moments when we had to suffer, but we were excellent. We also needed the crowd to turn up, and they did. It feels like a big win. Yeah, the crowd... they were getting on Raya. I was getting on Raya from my living room, but the crowd were really good, and it was nice to see Odegaard. I love it when he tells the crowd to bring it, and they do. Anyway, Arteta continues saying, we started and conceded an early corner, which led to a chance. Yeah, that was the hairy moment in the 4th minute. It was scary. But as the game went on, we grabbed control, and in the second half, we looked very good. The changes really helped too, I think. That's like a little humble brag. He might as well have said, my substitutions were really good. So he said the changes really helped too, I think. But, you know, I'll allow it today. His changes were great. So Arteta was also asked about Arsenal's slightly nervy start and the early mistakes made by Raya, which led to the home crowd growing restless. But he was quick to defend his goalkeeper and said that the Arsenal crowd should shout at me instead. Take note if you were at the match. Don't shout at Raya, shout at Arteta. He added, Manchester City give you a lot of issues, and we gave them a lot of issues. You need the right timing, the right support, and the right movement to beat the press. But what I like is the courage we have, and the crowd have to understand that. And if they want to shout at me because it's my fault. You will have moments like that against a team like this. You have to manage the emotions. So let me just look at that again. He said we gave them, you need the right timing, the right support, and the right movement to beat the press. So basically I get from that you need to, I don't know, his press conferences, he says a lot, but he says nothing. Do you know what I mean? You get no real insight. He keeps very tight-lipped about the actual tactics and stuff, and just says, goes to words like passion and bravery, and it really doesn't give much weight, at all. So yeah, it really annoys me, to be fair. But he doesn't want to give away all his secrets and inner thoughts. So there we are. He goes on to say, I told Raya he was excellent and he was right to stop the ball when he needs to. He was excellent. He played so high. This is the funny part. I love players with a lot of courage, and he does. He has big ones. I I can't believe in a press conference he basically just say like he's got a big set of balls on him. Like, if you'll excuse my lewd language, of course. So Martinelli is another one with big ones as well. He turned up yesterday and said he was ready to go. Leo Trossard got injured and I turned around and he was already dressed up and ready to go. This is just part of the journey. It's a joy to work with this team. I was just reading that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? What are you talking about? That's not PG. Parental guidance is needed. Yeah, totally. Let's do it, Connor. So that was so cringe to read. I can't believe you said that. Correct term is grapefruits, Fran. Right. I gotta move on. But yeah, that's just some incoherent waffling from Arteta as per. So Reiss actually had another big grapefruits moment, saying that got a bit. So Ferdinand revealed that Reiss believed blah 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 blah. So Ferdinand was saying he texted Declan Rice this morning and said, "Testament to you, no one's talking about the price tag," said Ferdinand on his Vibe with 5 podcast. And Declan's response was absolutely bang on, according to Ferdinand, saying, "Come on, I was doing the same thing at West Ham, and no one wanted to speak about it." So I think he makes a really good point, and that's quite like a mic drop moment, to be fair, saying like, he was doing exactly the same thing, but just wasn't noticed at West Ham how he is now. And yeah, so it's nothing new what he's doing. He's been doing it for years, and we're just lucky enough to have him now at Arsenal. So yeah, let's see a couple of your bits. Anyway, next we're going to go on to player ratings. So I'll do a couple of comments, then it's player ratings. The best part, my favourite part, your favourite part, player rating. And we can talk a little bit more about how everyone did. They're going to be pretty high ratings. There are still a couple of weak things that I'm going to kind of be devil's advocate and point out anyway. But right, Gooner Forever saying, Fran, the problem is that Arteta even said that we don't need to buy a striker in January. Seriously, everyone can see that we do. Yeah. Eddie is not performing up to... I think he's just too inconsistent. Like, some games he plays amazing and everyone's saying, I told you about Eddie, but then he goes on these streaks where he's not really scoring so much. And Jesus, though, I do think when he has a run of games, he's really, really good. It's just he's been inconsistent because of the injuries. So is it worth bringing in a proper finisher like a Vlahovic, someone like that, who will be there if Jesus is injured and we won't just have to have Eddie up front? I do think we need one. I also think that we need a right winger. Maybe we could get a goal scoring right winger to back up Saka, because we've seen that there's just no one when Saka's injured. So yeah, let's have a... Phil saying transfers are just monopoly money these days. If Brentford want 80 million, we can afford it, but let's think of it as 8 million. The only way I can get my head around it. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Rice baby. James, hello. Saying we went from having no cojones to having balls of bloody steel, mate. Absolutely. You're right, actually. I hadn't thought about that in terms of, do you remember everyone was saying like our players are like, when it comes to big occasion, we bottle it. That was a massive occasion, and for the whole 90 minutes, we held our nerve. And Arteta was saying it was because of the bad experiences we've had at City before. That experience meant that we had the courage and like composure that we did this time. And perhaps he's right. Perhaps it is because we've suffered at City and against them. We now know how to hold our calm instead of losing it. You're so right. And another thing I was thinking of, you know, people were saying, even Pep was saying, like, they had one good moment and that's when they scored. It could have been 0-0. It could have gone either way. But I think, in fact, we're so used as Arsenal fans to us having that one bad moment of luck go against us. So when teams sometimes only have one chance, but it goes in, they get a lucky goal, then we end up looking rubbish. And we seem to get no luck. And it just felt like this time the luck actually finally went in our favour. So that was just a diversion from normal, and the chances went our way, not their way. Anyway, so we're going to go into player ratings now. If you have not yet, then please hit the likes. Say hello. You don't have to say hello, though. Like, if you're a lurker, then I totally respect that as well. And you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to watch. You can go if you like. But I'm going to go and do the player ratings. Keep the comments coming and get any questions in, because in a minute we're going to do a Q&A after player ratings. But you see, the PowerPoint is so big for this part that it wouldn't upload onto StreamYard. So I'm going to have to screen share somehow to show you the player rating part. So give me a moment. Ask any questions while you want. So screen share. Now I need to work out how to... I can't see you guys anymore. All I can see is this. Escape. Did that work? Did that work? I need your help here. So when I went on full screen, did that... slide only. Sorry, guys. This is very not cool. So I'm just going to go full screen and hope that that means that you can see it. I'm going to look on my phone. I'm going to look on my phone to see how that looks. Give me 1 second, guys. Grab yourself a drink because it's player ratings. This might go on for a while. Oh, it's still not going like full. Okay, that's going to have to do. It doesn't look as good as it should, but if you bear with me this time, it'll be fine. Normally it should be like full screen, but we're just going to have to do it like that for today. I'm very sorry that it's not as good as it normally is, but okay, anyway. Right, so first of all, David Raya. This was the nervy moment that in the first half, Alvarez... So he was holding up the ball, blah, blah, blah. I know he was following orders from Arteta, which was to draw them in so that we could like get them out of position, hit them on the break, blah, 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 blah. But this moment was nervy. And I think to start the game, he did not have a particularly high rating from me. He looked shaken. However, I was very impressed with the way he managed to like hold himself together. And he like regained his composure. And the way that Arteta defended him afterwards, it kind of said a lot to me about his man management. So I think Ryan must have come in perhaps feeling a bit despondent, a bit down and a bit underconfident at half-time because there'd been these moments. And then it got, I think Arteta would have just said to him, like, you're doing amazing, you're doing exactly what I told you to do. And he came out looking much more confident, kept doing the same thing, but just with a few less mistakes. So I think that I would probably give him a 7 or 7.5. Then he did keep a clean sheet against City, so I'm just wondering like whether he should maybe get a higher rating. I'll see what you guys are saying. I can't do it like that because I can't see like any of your comments or anything, so I have to work out maybe a different way of doing it, which is really annoying. Sorry everyone. Maybe that way would work. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I'm just trying to work out how to get this. See, here's the problem with relying on a... Hello, Dan Fry. Nice to see you. Your first comment ever is like, PowerPoint, how to get it. We'll just have to keep it small like this. I'm very sorry. As I said, the file was too big and I tried to compress it and that's why I was late on. But actually, I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, whatever. Who cares? Okay, whatever. Who cares? Cancel. Just got changes. Okay, we'll just have to do it like this. Thank you for your patience. Everyone's probably left now. I get a bit OCD about... Yeah, screw it. We're gonna go full screen. Okay, so I made everyone's slides and stuff, but we're just gonna do it full screen. So, right, David Raya. I'm gonna give him a 7.5. what do you think? So, thank you guys. Thank you. Dancing, don't worry, take your time. Fran, I want to get you on my channel for Liverpool Arsenal preview. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. On my website, so golartzo.com, you've got like my number that you can WhatsApp me on and stuff. So yeah, probably shouldn't have said that, but so Gooner Forever, you've got all your ratings. Yes. James saying, in the gym I go. We have the philosophy of becoming comfortable in the uncomfortable. And Arsenal this season getting so much better at this. The defensive performance against Palace and City was chef's kiss. I completely agree, honestly. It was so good. So good. So Raya 7, Raya 4.9. Very harsh, Phil, but I know you're a Ramsdalian. Raya 6. Nah, but there's now a feeling of dodginess about him, including the Lons game. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I assume Arteta's putting it up to like nerves as being a new player for this team, because yeah, otherwise you'd think he would have like dropped him. But we know that now it's just Raya's like first choice basically, which is such a shame for Ramsdale. I think Ramsdale is only going to play in like the league and Carabao Cups and things like that. Phil says, as long as we can see you, thank you. That's very sweet. Arsenal Manic, very precise, saying a 5.25. I like it. A Rami love it. Let's go with that. Okay, so there is this whole, I'm kind of just a bit bored of like the Raya Ramsdale thing. It's just kind of like this has happened now, whether we agree or not. I love Ramsdale. I really hope he can step it up and regain his #1 position, but right now he's not. And I think we just need to stop making like a big deal of it, and then hopefully the press will stop. And yeah, just the less we think about that, the better. It's not good for anyone in the team. Hey, David, new name in the chat. Do you think Ramsdale will leave at the end of the season? I'll give you a quick answer, but then we'll do a Q&A in a minute. So it all really depends if he starts to get a bit more game time. I think if he doesn't get a bit more game time, he will leave. He's like an ambitious guy, big personality. I don't think he'll be happy sitting on the bench, you know. Gonna message you for the big game day, Fran. Awesome, we'll do it. We'll talk about how Arsenal will destroy you guys. Yeah, fighting talk. Anyway, so David Raya was first. Oh no, I've actually got it. And now let's rate. And I'm going to have one more go at doing the little thing, because the photos make it much better. So, present. Screen share. That looks so bad. Okay, we'll just do it like that. Oh, I don't know. Wire. Give me 2 secs, guys. This is like by far the worst PowerPoint we've done so far. I'm really sorry. Anyway, yeah. So Phil says, I think Rami has to go. Go with the flow, Fran. So you're now seeing like the obsessive side of me, and this is why I get stressed all the time. Okay, we'll just go with the flow. So David Raya, somewhere between a 2 and a 7. That's what we've got so far. Right. Okay, we're just gonna have to go cancel. This is a nightmare. Connor, okay. Connor says go with the flow, so we're just gonna go. So Fran, Man City, 115 charges. That should go to 117 charges after Kovacic. How was he not sent off? Still baffles me. There's definitely something dodgy going on. I think at best, it's a case of like, don't destroy the spectacle. You know, football's a commodity now. It doesn't have to be a fair game. And at worst, it's like agendas or refs being, you know, like in City owners' pockets, things like that. Either way, it's not good enough. It is not good enough. So next we are gonna do. Next is, it would be Zinchenko. What do we think of Zinchenko? Right, Zinny ratings. Let me know. We'll have to whiz through this part so I can. Zinny ratings, everyone. So Zinchenko got taken off in the 70th minute in this switch for Tomiyasu. But before then, I was actually very impressed with him. I thought he had a really good first half. So I noticed he was actually paying a lot more attention defensively. And thank you guys for sticking with me for that chaotic bit. Anyway, Zinny was coming back a lot more to help out defensively. Trossard was also coming back to help him. And I thought he had a really solid game. I'll get my notes up that I did for Zinchenko. So I said he was definitely more defensively switched on, more conservative play from Zinchenko in terms of tracking back, but he pushed up and showed intensity. He even took a couple of shots. And his long balls are really great. So he actually did this amazing switch to Jesus about a third of the way into the match. I thought he was actually really good. Duty calls, friends. See you soon. Thank you for sticking with me for that chaotic half hour. Really good to see you. Everyone subscribe to Gooner Gathering. Arsenal Manic reckons 5 for Zinchenko, but then a 6.25. Changing your mind. Connor saying normally Zinchenko loses his head against Man City. You're right, actually, really good point. He was very composed on Sunday. He was. Last time he was super emotional against them. So you're right. Zinchenko 7, he actually played left back for most of the game. Yeah, so you saw it too. He was much less inverted and more coming back to actually defend, which was really cool. It shows he can do it when Arteta tells him to. So you reckon 7, done all right. Pretty much agree with that. Zinny 7.5, Wi-Fi crash. That's okay, Phil. Don't worry. We didn't get far anyway. I was still faffing around with the PowerPoints. So you reckon somewhere between a 6 and 7.5. I thought he did really well. 32 likes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So 8 away from 40. That would be awesome. Please hit the like if you haven't already. But I hate asking. I hate being told. I love watching YouTube, and then when they tell me, hit the likes, I get annoyed. So. Just, you know what it is. Thank you so much, Guna, forever. So let's say Zinny is a 7. We'll say Zinny's a 7 as well. It was a clean sheet, but I think he was just, it was all right. Nothing extraordinary, but I thought he played really well and better than he normally does. So very well done to Zinchenko. So next up, Gabriel. Guys, Gabriel and Saliba. Oh, I'm so annoyed I can't show you. I've got all the photos of them. And so post-match, the real people that were celebrating together was Gabriel and Saliba. You saw them just going mental at each other. And there's this amazing photo of Gabriel lifting up Saliba. And I think just the partnership is just absolutely fantastic between them. And they really, really, it was kind of before they just play next to each other. But now I think they definitely have this joint goal together and real they know that they're a good pairing and they really work with each other to try and have the best game possible. So, right. First, 'tis simples. Thank you, Phil. Indeed it is. So Gabriel, 10.1. Gabriel, 9. 9.25. What's with these specific scores? Captain of Arsenal for now. Maybe Reiss in contention for the future. Yeah, it's nice that there's a few different players that you could say could be captain, but I think Gabriel, he's barely ever injured, is he? And last season, when everyone else was losing it, when we were bottling the title, he was the only one that was really, really still going for it and trying to save the game. So I think he's really highly rated, and it sucks that he's next to Saliba in terms of how much attention Saliba gets, because Saliba's outrageous. But Gabriel has really put a stop to the silly brash moments, and he's more mature and composed, still with that massive amount of fire and fight. And he's just been, I think, this growing pairing between him and Saliba, actually looking at each other and wanting okay, bro, we're gonna do this now. And afterwards they were so happy with each other. It's just amazing, and nothing can happen to either of them. They're incredible. So you reckon 8, 9, 10, 9. I'm going to give him a 9. Although, could it be a 9.5 because it's a clean sheet against City? There were a couple of times where he just runs in and did this outrageous athletic interception. The ball was head height and he just karate kicked it and lost it. But so I reckon for me, I'm giving him a 9.5. It's a clean sheet against Man City. And I think it really just solidifies this partnership is special. So you guys reckon 8, 9, D7. Hello, I think you're a new name in the chat. Welcome. saying, as long as Odegaard is here, and I hope it's for a long time, we shouldn't talk about anyone else being captain, in my opinion. I mean, clearly it is working. Clearly it's working, and perhaps it's just the style of captain that Arteta wants. Saliba must have deep pockets. He did it against Messi and now Haaland. Yep, we're on to the Saliba ratings now. So, Saliba, guys, what can we say about Saliba that hasn't been said already? I think every other team in the league will just be looking and going like, oh my gosh, this Saliba and Gabriel pairing is like outrageous. My comment was such a mess. Look, Saliba? That means Saliba ratings. Oh, saying loving recognition you're giving Gabriel. First channel I've seen do this all season. Thank you so much. I think he's so underrated. He's so underrated, and I think it's because he's next to Saliba, but he like gets down and dirty with the defending. I feel Saliba sometimes, you know, just kind of strides in last minute and does like a blockbuster interception or whatever. But Saliba's there like all the rest of the game, like getting stuck in. I'm glad you see it as well. Like he's so underrated, I think, and since he stamped those like sloppy mistakes out of his game where he can be a bit brash, he's top class. He's top class. Rene said, I'm sorry, I was watching KSI versus Tommy Fury. Who won? That's mad. But yeah, I forgive you. That's fine. Welcome back, Rene. Odegaard ain't no captain, says Arsenal Manic. Interesting. Thank you guys for still being here. Yeah, amazing. Another question from Jordan. I'll save that for the Q&A. We've come a long way since the Mustafi days. We have. This defence is amazing. It's just been a shame that they've been a bit complacent up until now, and we've been getting these sloppy goals conceded at home. And I think today we saw what they can do when they're actually like trying. I think they know that they're so good that it does get a bit sloppy sometimes, and we've lost a couple of points because of that. But I think this will have reminded them as well, like, oh, we are pretty amazing. So Saliba, Phil saying a perfect 10 point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's a pretty perfect score. I know you're joking. It's jokes. It's jokes. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Make it more specific, Arsenal Manic. Please. Please. Like Phil is with 10 point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Posh Bertie saying Saliba 10. Okay, Bertie, I see it. Saliba 9. Saliba reminds me of the great David O'Leary. So calm on the ball. He's just incredible. He's a giant, and it looks like he's moving so slowly, but he just like in 3 steps he's covered like half the pitch. He's insane. So Haaland woke up in a cold sweat shouting Saliba 9.5. It's difficult to play for 90 minutes when Haaland's in your back pocket, but the whole time. But he did it well, guys. You must go and rewatch the clip. I'm sure it's like circulating on Twitter of him and Haaland running for the same ball. And he just sends Haaland flying with this little movement of his shoulder, and Haaland just goes. It's incredible. And you know what? After the match, Tom Canton was saying like he was, or someone like Harry Symeou was saying that he was in the tunnel where the players were like leaving. It was like the mic zone, and Haaland apparently like he came out like with his hoodie up, not talking to anyone, like properly sulking. And he was embarrassed. He was embarrassed. He didn't get a single shot in the game. Haaland, and for someone with such a huge reputation, like he must be hurting now. And it's 2 weeks for him to like think on that. It was really embarrassing for Haaland, like for real. Saliba and Gabriel like had him in their back pocket. They were outrageous. They were so calm as well. They were so sorted, so good. Forget Mustafi. What about a buoy? I didn't see these guys, I think, luckily. So D7 saying, I think Gabriel worked on his ball control and passing during last year's World Cup break. Yeah, must have motivated him that he wasn't even in contention, because since then he's cut out those silly mistakes by a ton. That's a really great point. I haven't seen anyone else mention that, to be fair. Like, so good on you. Yeah, he was, and actually that is what the players and the manager say about him, that he's like the biggest fighter on the team. So definitely, you're right. He must have used that as fuel rather than like a great disappointment. He's definitely really upped his game, and not many people are talking about it. And it must be a really good influence as well, playing next to Saliba. But again, when Saliba was injured for the end of last season, he held it together. He really held it together. Unfortunately, he had like Holding next to him trying to deal with Haaland and stuff, but he didn't really drop his level when the whole rest of the team was crumbling. He really deserves a bit more credit, I think. So anyway, Saliba, you guys as well agree that he's just insane. I mean, I was thinking, you were hearing that he was good last season. He was in like the French team of the season, but for him to come back to Arsenal and perform so well is just like outrageous. Phil saying, you would have cried if you'd seen Mustafi or Abuyi play. They make Holding look like Saliba. Oh my god. I'm glad I didn't see them then. D7 saying, long may it continue. Don't want to be seeing Haaland let his hair flow no more. No thanks. Oh my, that was so embarrassing. And today was payback. Do you remember watching Haaland take his hair down at the Etihad and just like the shame and like crushing feeling that gave us Arsenal fans? Well, it's on the other foot now. He was sent flying, embarrassed, and he couldn't take it. The whole team couldn't take it. One of their player, which one was it? Like Walker, wasn't it? Like having a scuff with our assistants and another one of their players. Like they couldn't handle it. They could not handle it. So let's give Saliba, I'm going to give him a 9.5 as well, because I think he was just like, I think just the two of them together were just insane. I don't know why I'm not really giving them a 10. I feel like I can't give them a 10. Maybe if they kept like a clean sheet in the Champions League final, you know. Thank you so much for staying so long, Gooner Forever. I know I do like talk a lot. Thank you so much for staying and commenting, and awesome. Thank you so much. So great to see you. So Tomiyasu is class. People need to put more respect on his name. Jez in trying to put a bit of reality in the talk. Let me be giddy, saying it's one game, people. It's such a big game, though. I think Jez. It's for me. It really showed like that Arteta is not so stubborn anymore. Do you not think? I think the fact that he didn't come and play all the attacking football, and he came and like actually sat back off City and played a bit more defensively, has it shown that he's lost a bit of that stubbornness, which was like the main reason, at least, that I was getting annoyed by him. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Right. So Ben White ratings, lads. For me, I just cannot love this guy anymore. So it was his birthday on that day, and he just came on like, he always looks so bored, like he just doesn't want to be there, and just because we know he doesn't really like football, he doesn't like press interviews, like he just doesn't want to be there, and like with this like stank look on his face, he just goes and like pulls an amazing tackle out of the bag, then makes an amazing block, and then like shadows Phil Foden and like snuffs him out. just like with the attitude of like not wanting to be there at all, and he just plays like outrageously. And people are saying he's basically like a 7 or an 8 every single game. Like he very rarely has like a stinker, and it just seems like he hates the fact that he's so good at football. He's like, oh, I actually hate this sport, but oh look, I'm just gonna go and like nullify Eze or Haaland or something like that. He just cracks me up. Be as giddy as you like, Fran. We have to enjoy these moments. Thank you, Phil. Arsenal, the history and more. Jez, this win against Man City means nothing if we don't win the Premier League. We had better go on and win the Premier League. Perhaps we can do a show about, you know, like our expectations for the season and stuff over this international break. But you're saying White 7. Yeah, he's always somewhere between a 7 and 8. I think he did great. D7, hope this is the start of a proper rivalry from now, where we just hate each other, though. There's respect, but only once. Can I find a City fan somewhere? Yeah, there aren't many City fans, you know. I'm going to head off, Fran. I'm shattered. Thank you for staying so long. Head off whenever you want, people, whenever you want. Really nice to see you in the chat as well. Benny Boy 7, love the runs up the right. You're right. We were seeing him push up a lot higher up, so it was basically a double-pronged attack of Jesus and him, and it worked really well. So, yeah, really interesting to see him doing that. But it did mean in the first half there was, like, nothing going up the left. And then Martinelli comes on and just lights it up on the left. So I can't really fault Ben White. I'm going to give him an 8 personally. White, 8. White gets a higher rating just for that nutmeg on Doku. That's another thing. He looks so bored and just goes like, fine, nutmeg. Oh, I want to leave this pitch. Oh, I hate this game. I just love that guy. I like how they don't really make him even do interviews anymore because he's so like rude in them. I just love it. It cracks me up. I'm here till the end. Can't leave a Fran style presentation. Although we don't have a presentation today, and I'm dying a little bit inside because my technology's let me down. But when we get to substitute ratings, then the presentation will come back. Don't worry. Thank you, Phil. Though, thank you. I really appreciate it. So, White's nutmeg on Doku was just outrageous. It was so outrageous. My boyfriend lost his mind. I don't think I've ever been. There's been few matches where I've like lost my mind that much, just like in my living room. I can't imagine what it must have been like at the ground. He honestly plays football like it's a 9-to-5 job. He does. That's what I'm saying. And perhaps that's why he's so consistent. Like he just really doesn't care. He just goes and does what he's paid to do and then leaves again. Have you seen that video of someone stopping him and saying like, "What do you do, mate? What do you do, mate?" He needs to like play football. And the guy doesn't know that he's Ben White from Arsenal. White hating football is the weirdest thing. It's so funny. It's so funny. Ben White just wants a quiet life. There was many footballers like him. And I totally respect it. I like that he's different. Everyone sometimes just seems like kind of PR puppets. They all have the same answers. In interviews, they know just what to say, what not to say. And Ben White just like doesn't prescribe to any of it, and I like it. It's a little bit of a maverick. So anyway, let's go on to Reiss. We showed you, so Reiss rating. I showed you that thing where he texted Rio Ferdinand saying, I can't spell today. Anyway, he texted Rio Ferdinand saying I was doing the same thing at West Ham. People just didn't notice. People weren't talking about it, and he is just such a professional. Phil saying, I've no understanding why you play footy as a kid if you didn't like it. Maybe it was just like he had a talent and then was coached into it. You know, like lots of Olympic athletes and stuff are like picked out by their countries, like gymnastics organizations and stuff, because they've got a talent and are just like kind of trained. And I guess if you're then put in like football classes, even if you don't want to go, your parents will make you go. And if you're still like outrageous by the time you're 12, even if you don't love it, then that's when you like get into academies and stuff. So your rating for Reiss is off the scale. Reiss 20.1, a league of his own. Let's get up my notes that I had about Declan Reiss. I said basically always exactly where he needs to be, plus starting to get really solid in possession with Saliba and Gabriel specifically. I was really noticing like a growing like connection between him, Saliba and Gabriel, almost like a little trio, them three like working together, knowing exactly where they need to be at all points in the game. And Reiss was saying this is what he's been doing for years. It's just no one's noticed it because he's only been at like West Ham. And I guess being like the main man for a club that is often like under the cosh and being attacked against, he's just had learned how to completely read whereabouts the threat is going to be, even like 3 or 4 balls ahead. And whenever you're like, oh my gosh, they might have got through here, suddenly Declan Reiss out of nowhere just like bam, or like slides in. And if it's not him, then it's Saliba or Gabriel. But I just fully trust. I just feel like I absolutely trust that someone's going to be there. I feel like sometimes when your defense is a little less, when Declan Reiss wasn't there, you sometimes feel like, oh, they could get through here. But now I think with Declan Reiss and Saliba and Gabriel, it's so unlikely that they're just going to like get through us, because those guys know exactly where the threat's going to be. So my rating for Reiss is off the scale. Reiss unrated. He's been that good. Reiss 100 million. Phil Macker's still just bemused by Ben White. Why would Ben White put the effort in? It's just weird. I never put the effort in during my needlework class at school. You should have. Maybe you should be a bit more like Ben White. You know, you could be a needlework champion now. D7 saying, when I saw Reiss and Partey in the middle of the pitch, I just knew we were winning. Yes, when Partey came on and Martinelli came on, that was such a huge boost. Such a huge boost. So I'm going to give him a 10. We can't go higher than 10, everyone. But a 10, I've never given any players a 10. And I think today just confirmed that he's exactly what we hoped he could be and more. Absolutely immense. And his passing game is getting so much better. And he's just getting better and better per game. He was cooking 9.5. Am I doing an Arsenal v Chelsea watch-along? We're in the process of trying to arrange watch-alongs, but we only have one TV screen, so it's all very complicated. I hope to do watch-along soon. Jack Napier, hey, so good to see you. So good to see you. Your name rings a bell. I think I've spoken to you before. Tony Claude, this guy, Tony Claude Gunner TV. He's here, there, everywhere. The nicest man around. I actually love you. Thank you so much for jumping in, saying great show and big ups, lady. I can sew my own buttons. Can your boyfriend? Yeah. Yes, he can. Golazzo, big up, my guy. Everyone subscribe to Tony Claude if you haven't. He's so nice. Nicest guy ever. Anyway, thank you so much for jumping in the chat. Please hit the like button if you haven't. We're just halfway through player ratings. If you're new, then normally we have a really cool presentation next to me, but my laptop was like playing up and I couldn't upload the player ratings part. But when we get onto substitutes, then the PowerPoint will be back. I feel very out of my element with no PowerPoint, so please wish me luck. Jack saying, yeah, I remember asking you to draw me like the pose in Titanic. I would love to, but I take commissions. I can't just... We can speak further if you genuinely want a commission of that. But, like, subscribe, and share. You're the best. Yes, thank you for reminding them, Niall. So Reiss gets 10, solid 10. I just can't wait to see him grow from strength to strength to strength. I think already he's looking like he's up there to be one of the best DMs in the league, if not Europe or the world. Good luck. Thank you, man. It's hard. I don't know how you do it. It's hard doing like solo shows and stuff, but I've got to be done. D7 saying, once he does more crosses and sprays the ball like the one Partey did for the goal, he'll be the best midfielder in the league, hands down. Exactly. That's where he does need to kind of spread his wings a little bit. With West Ham, he's been so constricted really with like just making sure they don't concede. Now it's a team where I really liked him in the left 8 rather than playing as the sole like deep lying midfielder. Hopefully he's going to become more of like that box to box that we've seen Havertz do, but then it's like, where does Havertz go? Wouldn't it be awesome to have Partey sat back and then Reiss doing the box to box thing? I think we'd be like unstoppable. Phil saying it's like half a show without the presentation, like someone has turned off the screen behind you two at the Sphere. Yeah, I know. I feel uncomfortable, but we're nearly there. Right. So we've done. Oh, Jorginho, of course. What did you guys think of Jorginho? I was very, very impressed with Jorginho. As you know, I had a bone to pick with Jorginho because I was really annoyed about him giving away the ball at Tottenham. D7 saying, need to see that Partey, Reiss, Odegaard midfield more. Totally. And it looks like Partey's fit now, so you'd think that definitely, at least in the big matches, we'll see that. So Jorginho, you reckon a 6.9, very specific. As always, you love to see it. I wrote, he's good defensively and on the ball, covering the area just before defence. Really stepped up and gave everything to every duel. Then involved in every bit of defensive position too. So high praise actually in Fran notes for Jorginho. I thought he was here, there, everywhere, not only contributing, he fitting in really. I actually really liked the Reiss Jorginho. They worked really well together, I thought. But Jorginho was very, very good. Actually got on the ball a lot more than normal. Kind of the underappreciated, like getting stuck in here, there, everywhere. I thought he was really good. So Georgie was brilliant, marshalled the troops nicely. You reckon 7, 6.9. I'd go a bit higher than that. I was actually really focusing on him when I watched the game back, and he was really good in the first half. So Niall says you're doing a preview and watch long against Chelsea. You've missed it, Niall, but I'm going to be doing a preview and review of every game this season. So yeah, so I'll be doing a preview, but not a watch along. Phil saying my comments appear before I hear you typing. Jorginho sideways, backwards. But that was what this game needed, Jez, because I didn't want us to go out and like just throw everything at them because they would have just like murdered us. I liked that it was passing round and backwards, only in this game, not normally. Perhaps in other games it is frustrating when he slows down the pace, but in this game we needed to stay calm, in control, and bide our time. Kyle, hello. Long time no see, man. How are you? Everyone is celebrating this win, says Kyle. I will celebrate if we win the league, not just a game. Go on, allow yourself to celebrate a game. Come on. I'll take every little celebration, but yeah, you're right. We can't forget like the overall like aim of this season. But come on, a little bit of celebration for a team we haven't beaten in 12 matches. I think it's a really, really, really positive step in the right direction. And for me, like a real improvement from Arteta in swallowing his pride and showing City the respect they deserve and playing a bit more defensively and trying to hit them on the break. That's why I was so happy about it. And so for me, it's a real like next level to Arteta's game, because I've been annoyed at how stubborn he is facing these big teams. But, you know, you've always got the standards. Really, Fran? What, for Jorginho? Or am I over celebrating? We are going to do the Chelsea watch along. Okay, so I'm not going to do the watch along, but Gooner Gathering. Yeah, I think though that you can be happy for a win, you guys, but also still maintain high standards. Just because I'm happy that we won this game doesn't mean that we shouldn't be winning the league. That I don't expect this to continue. That I'll be unhappy if I see us and do dumb stuff again. Just this game in isolation, I thought was really good. Where's Del Boy and Manny? Yeah, the whole gang. Jorginho is useless. I thought he was good in that game. So I'm going to give him a 7. D7 saying, to those who don't want to celebrate this win, you're missing out on the joys of being a fan. Now, those guys are just like hardcore. They're fed up with like us getting carried away and like not holding the standards high and stuff. So I do get it. And they're always saying like, Fran, you need to chill. Like we need to win the league and then we can celebrate, which I totally get. You know, we've got to keep the pressure on. You know, this is good, but keep it up. You know, don't let it slip back. You know, we haven't won the league yet, you know. The internet will have you believing you can't celebrate or root for your team or players. Good for you, Fran, for enjoying the moment. Yeah, I'm really happy about it. So, yeah. Yeah, it was very much a case of, though, like, and I was saying, like, I would lose my head if we lost this game. Maybe I am putting too much on, like, a single performance, but for me, it was really big. Anyway, so you guys are all having your say on whether you think you can celebrate or not, you know. D7 saying, I celebrated when I saw Holding in a Crystal Palace jersey. Got to enjoy all the little things. Yeah, fair enough. I celebrated when I saw Haaland being bodied by Saliba. That was a beautiful sight. So, right, Odegaard player ratings. I'll give, for me, Georgie gets a 7.5. I thought he did really well. Still don't rate him, still don't think he's good enough, like, to be a first teamer all the time. But in a game like that, in, like, where we need to play a slightly different style of play, he did what he was meant to do really well. So, right. So Odegaard. Arsenal, Jez saying, so I'm not a fan if I look at this as a great result, but don't get carried away. D7, you can come back at that. You are right to not want to get carried away. And I like it when you guys remind me like not to get carried away. So anyway, so Herb Garden 8, even though he was quiet thought he was quiet, even if I love him. Odegaard 7. I was quite underwhelmed by Odegaard, but I think he was kind of being given a slightly different role than normal, which wasn't to be as all-out attacking. So he had a few segments of like usual, like good Odegaard play, but it wasn't really that type of game. I thought he nearly had his ankle broken by Kovacic in the first half. So for me, he kind of went missing. D7 saying Odegaard only gets a 7.5 because I expect more from him in these games. Yeah, I'm on your wavelength there. But again, it was kind of a performance where everyone was sat off the ball and he was doing really well in like keeping the shape, keeping the low sort of block, like mid to low block. So he kind of did what was expected of him, but maybe in the second half when players like Martinelli were stepping up, it would have been nice to see him get involved a bit more. And players like Jesus were still being really influential like in keeping the block, but then we're doing mad things going forward. And I felt like Jesus sometimes was going up on the right and had no one to pass to. Odegaard wasn't there helping him out. Ben White was, but Odegaard was kind of missing. It would have been nice to see him helping out Jesus a bit more, who was doing really well on the right-hand side. So for me, I'm going to give him a 6 because, you know, I liked him geeing up the crowd, but I just want to see a bit more from him in a game like this. Kyle Walsh saying, D7, I'm a fan who wants my club to win a league title, the first in 20 years. I'm glad we won on Sunday, but it's not enough. Raise the standards. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It can't just go back to how it was. There's got to be a step towards things getting even better. So Odegaard 6 was, and keep reminding us all, Kyle, like especially me. I can totally get carried away. I don't want to like just be that fan, you know. So Odegaard gets a 5 for me, missing in a big game as usual. Yeah, I gave him a 6. D7 saying 6 quad, he starts to press every time. I know, but I just want to. I suppose it is. It was a defensive, a game focused on defense, and he does start the press and stuff. But I just didn't see much from him, even on the watch back. But maybe I just need to like focus more on what he's doing. But for me, he's gonna get a 6. But he wasn't bad. But like 6 is kind of average. It was like. It was not outstanding. He didn't do anything wrong for me. Phil saying we're a million miles ahead of where we were when Wenger left. I do agree about that, and I think Arteta has done a lot for bringing the fans and the club together. And I've had big doubts about Arteta, like with his stubbornness. And for me, this was just a big game that showed that he's kind of like softening with that a little bit and can adapt. So that's why for me it's like quite a big win. But you know, everyone's different. So Odegaard for me, I'm sorry, D7. I'm sorry. He does like, but like we know he's a hard worker and he presses well and stuff. Like that's just what he always does. So, but he just didn't do anything like way out of the ordinary, like really outstandingly, if you know what I mean. Odegaard. So who's next? Ooh, Trossard. So he comes off at half time. Arguably was playing injured. My notes about Trossard were. He actually did do a great long switch over to Jesus early on, which led to an Arsenal corner. However, I wrote that he wasn't quite on it, and mainly he was involved in dropping back to help Zinchenko defend. So he was defending really well, but was not doing too much going forward. And you noticed a huge difference. I know he's not Martinelli, but the second half when Martinelli came on, the ball was coming up the left so much more, whereas he just... The first half, it was barely getting to Trossard at all. And I don't know whether that was because he was playing injured. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, he was not good. Wasn't impactful as he has been. I'm a little bit worried about Trossard because I think there's been a bit of a drop-off between last season when he just came on and was like blowing us all away to this season. But he has struggled with injury, I think, but he also has had much less game time, so it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. Is he playing worse because he's got less game time, so he isn't as match fit, or is he like not getting game time because he's like performing a bit worse in training? I don't know. I personally want to see him get more game time, allow him to play himself into form, like you're trying to allow Havertz to get played into form. Those guys and Nketiah, why are you not giving Trossard and ESR that chance? You know, it seems a bit unfair. So you reckon Trossard 5, Trossy 6.7, Trossard a 5. Fair enough. I don't think he's fully fit yet, so best is yet to come. Yeah. I I love it when Phil and guys like Jez just kind of face off. So I love it. I love it. I love it. But I don't want to get distracted. So you guys keep debating in the chat. I love it. I just love like when some people think so different to others, you know. But anyway, so for me, Trossy gets. I love him so much. I love Trossard. 5.5. Oh, 37 likes. Guys, 3 more. Well, 8 more, and then we've hit the target for today. Static saying, hey, Fran, sorry I won't be joining today. I'll watch this later, okay? You really don't have to. It's been a bit of a shambles of a show, to be fair. My PowerPoint didn't work, so. But anyway. Your best players were Saliba, Gabriel, Reiss, and Martinelli. Yeah, I totally agree there. Thank you for dropping in. I hope you're okay, man. Always so supportive. Like, if I'm having a bad day, Static will come up and just like, really great guy and the best moderator out there. You reckon 3? Oh, before you go, you're just gonna throw the grenade of Trossard having a 3 and then leave. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. He was not good. He was not good. Got 39 likes here, Fran. Damn, this is the most we've ever had on a stream, and this has been a really bad stream for my presentation standards. So thank you. Pure entertainment and so much passion. Well, thank you. We try. Just wait till there's a PowerPoint too. I'm joking. I need to chill. Anyway, so we've got 3, 6.5. Thank you, by the way, Gil. It's now 40. Yeah, it's 40. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. That actually means a lot. I had a really hard day yesterday, and the fact that it's not been a very organised stream, but we still got to 40 likes. Now 41. Thank you so much. The actual target was 45, and that would be amazing. Thank you. You're doing great, Fran. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Arsenal, the history more. Okay, I'm saving questions till the end, but because you're like my homie and my bestie, and I love you, Jez, I'll answer this question now. If he doesn't win the Premier League or Champions League, would you keep him as manager then? Only if we compete with City, like if they just outplay us, you know? If we compete with them till the final day and we don't come second because we've like shat the bed, we come second because they've just like been out of this world good. So only if we're like 1 point behind City, completely with them in the title race till the end of the season, and I would say have to make like semis or finals of the Champions League as well. But then I don't know, because last season I said I won't accept anything other than winning it next season. So I don't know. It makes me think, like, am I dropping my own standards? Maybe just listening to like everyone else around me who were saying like, oh no, let's not try and win, you know. Maybe we do need to win. Maybe unless we win, then questions need to be asked. See, Jez and Carl always make me doubt, like, can make me have an existential. If we don't win league title or Champions League, Arteta out. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Niall saying you heard of an Arsenal player called Mikel Arteta, Fran. I've heard the name, but never really seen him. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Phil. Party time. Gil saying there's a shift in the universe. 42 now. The algorithm gods are on our side. The striker who's on loan at Motherwell in Scotland from Arsenal, Mikel Arteta. Is he doing well? I hope so. Top 4 in a trophy is the minimal requirement for Arteta this year. Anything less and he has to go. I don't think top 4 is enough. Definitely has to be really close runner-up, because we're all forgetting like that we really should have won last year and we only won because like we bottled it basically. City didn't like play out of this world. We just drew games where we shouldn't have and stuff. And I remember saying next season we've got to win the league. Crispy, hello, cool name. Thank you. I don't think I've seen you before. Hello, welcome. We've got Q&A coming soon, just finishing player ratings. Smash the likes. And you're saying, yeah, I'm not hearing the no league, no championship means Arteta out, but I do want to win something and challenge. I think, I just think yeah, it's really difficult. But I think getting rid of Arteta, you'd have the risk of like some fans getting like really toxic, and then everything that's been built between the fans and the club like falling apart. Because he's done so much for like the unity of the team and stuff. If you brought in someone else, you're just going to start ripping all that away. The players might absolutely like lose their happiness. Like, I just think it could cause more harm than good getting rid of him. But then I don't know, because Jez argues if you bring in like a world-class manager, then only good can come of that. So Fran saying, no way, I'm not missing that, lol. Seriously though, I'm sorry to hear about your PowerPoint. I work on Wednesday nights as well. Thank you again. Lots for the kind words. Oh, you work nights. Man, that must be so tiring. I'm sorry to hear about your PowerPoint. It's as if like I've had a loss in the family. I'm sorry to hear about your dog. I'm sorry to hear about your PowerPoint. I have actually had a loss today. So it's only... You're going to laugh at this, guys. So I know I had like stuff in the family, but if you guys have been watching me for a while, then you'll know that I'm an avid fish keeper. It's a really quick story, but one of my puffer fish died because he was sick. And then what appears to have happened is the healthy one ate the one that died because he was sick and on his way out anyway. And he's died because he ate too much. So all I found was one like really, really overweight puffer fish, and the other one was gone. So what's happened is he ate his friend and then died from eating too much. I was just like, just classic. Like, why wouldn't that happen? Anyway, Bertie's saying top 2 FA Cup and Champions League quarterfinals is the bare minimum for me. That sounds about right, as Phil says. Yeah. Just saying, is that not the reason we moved to the Emirates, to compete with the best? That was the dream we were told, and not won a Premier League since. Got to keep reminding them, Jez. And me, keep reminding me. These same mans wanted Mourinho over Arteta when he was appointed. Arsenal would be down in the dumps if they got their wish. That's a good point. That's a good point. Rest in peace, Puffer, but fish and known cannibals. Man, I'm trying. It's too much. It's too much. It's too stressful. There's plenty more fish in the sea, but sorry, Viola. Thank you. Thank you guys for humouring me. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. Anyway, so player ratings. Bushbert, he's saying, why do I have a feeling that'll happen with my cats? Honestly, it's shocking. It's shocking. Right, Jack saying Chelsea, City owe us the league the way I see it. What, due to the points thing, that they might get their titles taken off them? That'd be nice. But I'd rather win it due to our own merit, you know. For me, we should win it this season. We should win it. And I'm going to have to really watch out for like justifying the fact that we're not, because how many years can I justify, oh, this is why we won't win it? Next year. And I can't imagine you guys who've been watching so much longer, how you must feel when people are saying, oh, next year, come on, give it another year. So I've got to watch it. Still on 42 likes, lads. See if we can get to 45 and then I can sleep happy. Static saying, Fran, it's annoying, but not as bad as Tuesday nights. I may be working usually on both nights, but I find a way to make time for people. Damn about the fish. Tell me about it. It's shocking in the household tonight. Thank you so much, Static. Thank you so much. You can hang around for a little bit. Who's your best player slash players? It's really difficult. But for me, it's always going to be Saka. Gabriel's also really underrated. I think it's good that there's quite a few players that, you know, can be our favourites. It's hard to choose between them. But for me, Saka, having overcome what he did at the Euros and all the horrible like abuse he faced after that, and then to use it to get even better, like so many players that would have crushed. And I think he's got his head so screwed on, and for him to come out stronger because of all of that and stay so humble, and I admire him so much, you know. Golazzo, who's managed to come out on top versus these oil clubs in the last 20 years, very few. Liverpool, but yeah, Chelsea have been pretty dominant. Now it's Man City, but Liverpool have shown it can be done. It's your favourite player, Saka. Hey, Guna Gargamel, cool name and cool profile picture. Fran, you're too young to remember our proper legends. Sadly, I am. Yeah, but I did paint them. Anyway, right, let's finish player ratings and then we'll do a quick Q&A. And then I'm going to go to bed. But yeah, who cares, right? So where did we get to? We did Trossard. Trossard wasn't very good. Right, Nketiah. Jez, if you're still there, Nketiah ratings. Right, what have I written about Nketiah? Right, I said he was being fed long balls, but wasn't winning many of the duels. Finally did, and shoots it about 8 yards wide. So savage notes from me. So I said, was being fed long balls, but wasn't winning many of the duels. Finally did, and shoots it about 8 yards wide. So safe to say I wasn't like too happy with his performance. However, he did get the crowd behind him with a like challenge out the blue, and the crowd started chanting Eddie, Eddie, Eddie. I still have yet to be convinced that he's good enough to lead the line at Arsenal. So yeah, he was up there as the target man, which is what we're told he's good at. He's the fox in the box, he's the poacher. But he was barely winning any of the headers, or controlling it. So it was kind of like, what's really the point? He was coming back, and defensively, I noticed that he was stepping back and defending more than he usually does. So he was doing a bit more of that. The whole team was sat behind the ball. So, but still not good enough, really, is it? Jez saying, nah, static, you were there. My target was 45 at the beginning of the show. I wrote it on the PowerPoint. But yeah, 40 is amazing. Too many fans accept failure now. That was never the Arsenal way. It's a problem because too many have never seen the club win a league title. Yeah, I completely agree. And I'm like in that bracket. And I think I do need to stick with what I said after we bottled it last season, saying I won't accept anything less than winning the league this season. I feel like the beginning of this season, people have said like it's top 4. They've seen the transfer window and said target is top 4 this season, because it's excuses. They said because the transfer window wasn't quite up to it, and because Liverpool are better and Chelsea are better, and Spurs are good now, so now the target is top 4. What happened to last season saying we've got to do one better next season? So yeah, keep banging the drum, Jez. You made those crazy, super talented. Thank you. Yeah, if you look at my website, which is Golartzo, then you can see like the time lapses of all of these and stuff. So yeah, I paint them. This one's a drawing of Vivian Miedema in like coloured pencils. They take a long time, and I'm going to be doing bird camp over this international break. So yeah, Eddie 5.5. Please go to Brentford in January. Switch for Tony. I'm taking it all day. But thank you very much, Crispy. Nketiah 2. Kyle. Nketiah is all off the scale, but for the wrong reasons. Guna Gargamel saying Nketiah 3. Eddie 3. Francie, I'm out grenades now. You're never out grenades, man. You're savage. I can't see this guy against top teams anymore. Let's play home against bottom 8 or 9 clubs. No problem, but please not anything more. He doesn't contribute enough, does he? We should sell Eddie Nketiah. We should keep Balogun. Oh no! You reminded me about Balogun. How's Balogun doing this season? Because I was among those in summer. I wasn't making YouTube videos, but desperate to keep Balogun. And instead we give Eddie Nketiah a new contract. I don't know what Arteta sees in him. I do not. All clubs go through good and bad periods. Jez saying absolute facts, bro. Kyle, yeah. Jez always with the facts. It was always down to us. We have this season. Yeah, I like you. You're very hopeful, Jack Napier. 3 more likes to 45 likes. Like and subscribe. That's another way of staying. We're still on 42 likes. Anyway, Eddie 4. The way he took that shot was ridiculous. No composure, no quality, no goals. Work rate also means scoring. Yeah, we know he works hard. Like, if working hard is the bare minimum for Arsenal. I would work hard for Arsenal. I might score more goals than Eddie. Kidding. Working hard is just the bare minimum. Just because you're working hard doesn't mean that you're good enough. Your heart can be in the right place and you can be giving it your all, but maybe you're just not good enough. I used to like work my arse off and give it my all when I was like in selections and stuff for hockey, but I just didn't make the cut sometimes. My heart was there. I put in all the effort. I just wasn't good enough. And perhaps that might have to be the case with Eddie. So he missed 2 pens in one game last week. Oh no. Maybe not then. Eddie, sorry, bro. Gonna have to hold that. Yeah. Can't wait to see. Hey, well done, Phil, dropping a close size this summer. Proud of you, man. But everyone's beautiful the way they are. I don't endorse diet culture too much. That stuff can be toxic. But anyway, give me your best paintbrush. I'll be savage. He has no football vision. You guys have a lot to say about Eddie. I just can't see him do the same thing with no improvement for like 3 years now. Yeah. I don't know what Arteta sees. Arteta does say that he works mad in training, so maybe it's just that. But we've all known people like that, like doing sports where in training they're like so keen and like a bit of a teacher's pet. That was me, to be fair. And then on actual match day, just like didn't show up. So maybe that's the case with Eddie. The manager has shown me he can challenge, so I back him fully this season. I'm kind of on that as well. I really do rate Arteta, and like a lot of my friends like don't so much, and I think it's fine. It's like some people really love like a chicken korma, other people just don't like it. I'm not going to change their mind. They're not going to change mine, but we can listen to each other and have like interesting discussions. And one day I might go off chicken korma, you know. But at the moment, I really like it. Jack Napier, what about Liverpool away, 2-0 up, West Ham at home and Southampton as well? That's what cost. Yeah, those were just inexcusable, those results. D7, about Eddie. I've really triggered you, D7, with Eddie. I'm losing my patience with him, like with Iwobi. His level is at an Everton-type club. I do agree. Somewhere like Everton, West Ham, Brentford, he'd be really good. Even then, though, I don't know. You're more than good enough. What to score? To score more goals than Eddie. My aim is 3XL, so I can buy a shirt again. If you message me, I think some of the shirts do come in like more XLs. But yeah, well done, Phil. Hazard never trained. Yeah, exactly. It's not about training. It's about showing up in the big matches. I mean, do you think Benzema like trained like a beast? I get the chance, like not. Thank you. At least someone appreciates it. So yeah, Eddie for me, he kind of did what he was told, which is getting back and defending with the team. But then in a game like that where you have so few chances, for him to not really under much pressure at all, they didn't even bother trying to get the ball off him because I think they knew that he would miss, and he just his first real good chance is just 8 meters wide. He's not really under pressure. Oh, club shirt, I meant. Oh, whatever. So for me, it's going to be a 4. I got to see more, Eddie. You got to show me why Arteta favours you, man. I just don't like seeing Eddie getting minutes where Trossard is not getting nearly the same amount of minutes. ESR is not getting the same amount of minutes. For me, it's just the Havertz and Nketiah being played until they come into form and Arteta can show the fans, like, see, this is what I thought. Yeah, this is why I play them. And no, you can't play players based on what you think they could be. You have to play who's best for that game in that moment. If they're not playing well enough, whip them off. So I think what says it all is that Havertz had more of an impact. Havertz had more of an impact than Eddie. And he was just on for like 10, 20 minutes at the end. He forced a shot that wasn't a chance. It was a great chance. He was like in their box. My mates will tell you I'm so sick of yelling at the screen every time he messes up. Raises my blood pressure without fail. I'd love to just set up a camera of you and your mates like watching it and like as a watch along and just see you yelling at Eddie. That would make my day. They can't hack starting right now, Eddie. He hasn't got the visibility. D7 saying I'd rather see Havertz play up top over Eddie any day. I think we need to move on from Eddie or your blood pressure is going to get too high, D7. Oh, Phil's saying you're wearing the Jesus t-shirt now. Can't wait for the Bird Cup one. Yeah, that's the Jesus t-shirt I designed. You can see the drawing as well on the left. And you can see more of them on the website. Do you think Havertz starting would have had a bigger impact since City struggled with the target man? stat. I'll answer that in a second. Let's just finish the player ratings. So we've done Eddie. One more rating, Jesus. Oh, he worked so hard. So Jesus is an example of a player with the work rate that actually does have an impact on the game, whereas Eddie doesn't really. Jesus was one of the only people in the first half, especially, that was really making something happen, especially down the right. sell, Fran. Thanks for reminding me, Phil. I need to get better at that. But Jesus, I thought he was really good, actually. One of the best players, especially in the first half. I couldn't completely rewatch the second half because I was making dinner at the same time. But my notes were nuisance. Nearly all attacks were down that side, taking on men, tracking back, trying to win every ball. And that's the thing, I think. He's always fighting so much more than the other players. If he loses the ball, he's battling, and he's just... Our team always looks better with Jesus when he's playing. So you reckon solid 7, Posh Bertie saying a 6. Jesus 8.9, love him. I really, really love him too. There was actually... So apparently... So, you know, he's been injured so much. Apparently, per games played, he's actually got one of the highest goals and assists, like, ratio to any of the strikers, like, in the league. So, because he's been out injured, we don't think of him as scoring many goals. But he actually has so many assists and goals for the time that he is on the pitch. Apparently, like, according to stats, that's what I was talking about with 101 Arsenal. He showed me the stat and it was mad. So I just want to see him play more, give him more minutes. Definitely play all the way until January, and if he's still looking like, you know, the balls aren't going in the back of the net, then definitely get like a target man, a Tony, someone like that. 7.5. Hey Fran, hope you're okay after yesterday. Thank you, Mr. B, you're so sweet. Yeah, yesterday was just a tough one. I just had like 2 medical appointments that were just bleh. It was just a bad day. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you're doing good. Prayers for Brentford. We definitely are not interested in Ivan Toney. Nothing to worry about there. Good evening, Fran. Good evening, Doug. Congratulations on your little new baby. I saw your post on Twitter. I hope parenthood is treating you and your lovely wife well. Doug Up Football Channel, literally the most level-headed, cool guy. Best Scottish accent as well. Such a nice person and new father. So I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. I hope that you managed to get some sleep. Yeah, at least it's the international break now, so you're not going to miss much football like the first couple of weeks of parenthood, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, congratulations, Doug. Bless. It's so proud of you. You guys are going to be the best parents. That honestly, such nice people. Anyway. Crispy, you saying about Jesus, great running, looked like the most threatening of the front 3 until Martinelli came on. Yeah, until Martinelli came on. Reiss or Saliba, man of the match, says Mr. B. Jesus gets it 8.5 or a 9. Must have been pissed off he had to compensate on the right wing for Eddie to play, but still kept it cool and played really well. Yeah, he did an interview basically saying that like he loves being a number 9, and at the moment he's having to play out of position. So that, like, it's because, like, he's the one who can best, like, emulate what Saka does. So Arteta sat him down and said, like, look, I need you out there today. I know you prefer playing as a number 9. But so, yeah, at the moment he's playing out of position. I want to see him given a solid run of games as the striker, you know. That's the position he wants to play. So, and I think if he gets that and he's not playing out of position all the time, then that would be great. And nobody mentions that stat. Jesus isn't as bad of a finisher as people think. Yeah, he's not. He just needs consistent game time. Jesus 7, he's quality, but needs to be in the middle for God's sake. Yeah, he was much better at right wing than he has been at left wing. But in the middle, he's so much better. Eddie can't score, and Jesus does so much more than just score. We need Tony. Yeah, I mean, imagine Jesus linking up with a proper goal scorer. But I think he is a proper goal scorer. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm being too kind. Everyone giving big congratulations to Doug. You guys are so nice. I'm really enjoying like the little group of us we've got going here. So thank you very much. If Jesus keeps scoring in every Champions League match, I'll be okay with that. Yeah, I think I'll be okay with that. Tony in and Nketiah out. I agree with that. Oh my gosh, the comments are going mad. Thank you guys. So I'm going to give Jesus an 8. Tony is more than compatible for Arsenal. Hey Jez, something we agree on. Tony and Eddie out. Guys, it's a groundbreaking day. Phil and Jez actually agree on something. Everyone stop what you're doing. This is monumentous, incredible. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. 43 likes, guys. This is the most we've ever had. And guess what? Thank you for sticking with me. We've gone over 2 hours. The PowerPoint is back. I'm so glad. Oh, that was so difficult without the PowerPoint. Oh, and I made such a good PowerPoint for that bit. There were photos of Saliba celebrating and just photos of all the different players and what they were doing in the game. But next time I'll have it more sorted. So substitute ratings. Let's whiz through these, do a couple of your questions, then call it a night. So Martinelli, what can we say? Look, so the goal was one of the best moments of the season because I feel like luck never goes our way in these goals and the fact in these games. And I think the fact that so basically have Tomiyasu of all people is like playing as a centre forward almost, and even Arteta was like, "What were you doing?" Apparently that wasn't part of the plan, but Tommy was up there anyway, and I like that from Tommy. Normally he's so disciplined, a bit of like a maverick side to Tomiyasu, which I can't thank him enough for. And Partey is passable to him, so all 4 subs obviously involved in the goal, and Havertz is there and manages to like lay the ball off to Martinelli. It's not the best ball in the world, but he spots that Martinelli's making a run. Anyway, it was just outrageous. And then Martinelli just smacks it towards goal, and you see in the replay that it just hits Ake square in the face and then goes in, and Ake just like goes splat to the ground. I was like, oh, he just smacked him right in the face and then went into the back of the net. And I never wish like physical harm on any player or any opposition, but just they've given us such a hard time over the last couple of years of just seeing Phil Foden just like completely miss the block and then smacking the defender in the face and going in the back of the net. It was just beautiful. And as I was saying, it's nice to get a bit of luck go our way, especially after Kovacic should have been sent off. But for those, we so often play against teams where they just get a lucky goal and they barely get any shots, but then something happens and it happens to go in for them. And it was us this time that happened to get the bit of luck and the goal went in for us. So Martinelli, what can I say? We've missed him so much. We could even see between the first and second half when he came on that he lit up the pitch. We've missed him so much. He actually runs with the ball. Not many of our players actually want to take on a man except Martinelli and Saka. And playing without them, we've done okay, but having him back was incredible. And apparently he was saying to Arteta was saying in the press conference, you've probably seen this, that he was saying like, boss, I'm going to be back for City. I'm going to be back for City. And him and the medical team were saying like, no, it's too soon, Gabby. Like, it's too soon. He was saying, no, trust me, I'll be back for City. And then apparently when Trossard was like limping a little bit, Arteta turned around and Martinelli had his like coat off and was like ready to go already, like, get me on. So I just think he's such a cool guy. Have you seen Ted Lasso? He reminds me of the guy that's like, football is life. He just loves the game. He's so passionate about it. An absolute dream to have on your team, honestly. I think his passion for it is just fantastic. 46 likes. Oh, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much. Target succeeded. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyway, Martinelli, back to it. Longhead Yeti's Cave. Legend. I can't believe it. I think you just started, is it your own channel or you already had a channel, but started doing a lot more videos with Jez and those guys, and such a cool guy. I really like your cave thing. You had a view of like the view from the cave. So yeah, I really like your channel and you. So everyone subscribe to Longhead Yeti's Cave. You'll see him on Jez all the time and stuff. Fran Chu, you definitely enjoyed it all. Let me have it. The slap in the face brought me joy. He's okay, he's okay. Check this out, Martinelli 9. I don't believe it, Static. I mean, we've got Phil and Jez getting on, agreeing with the same thing. Static giving a 9. We're all losing our heads at the minute. I'm joking. So you got 9. Man brought swagger back into the team for sure. This is better than the NASA presentation earlier. Thank you. 8.5, 10, 10, 10, and 10. Yay, the PowerPoint is back. Trust me, it's not the same without the PowerPoint. 9. So the player ratings PowerPoint was too big and it wouldn't upload, even though I was trying to compress it and everything. But the slap face brought me joy. And you hate to see it. It was like, oh, but good. It was good to see. I still think Havertz should have spun the defender and had a shot, but the layoff worked well. Even the layoff, I swear, I don't know if I saw it wrong, but the ball was just like slowly like bouncing along. It was like the feeblest layoff, but he did it. He did it. As long as Arsenal don't screw us over like they did with Raya, Jez, definitely not interested in Tony. Thank you guys. We got 46. Thanks to you guys in the chat. Yes, thank you everyone. Okay, right. So Danny Rojas, that's the one. Playing hardball, blah, blah, blah. Okay, right. Wait, there's more. Enjoy the celebrations. I'm going to give Martinelli a 10. I'm sorry. You guys haven't given him a 10, but I think just this is more like out of game stuff. Like the determination you showed to come back from this injury in time for this thing. I mean, I've been injured and out of athletics for months, and I felt like I was never. It's so difficult psychologically being out injured, and you're seeing everyone else training, and you can't train, and you feel like you're losing all your stamina, you're losing all your skill, you're losing all your fitness, you're going out of shape, and you just feel like you're never going to get back there. And I think for him to get back and so quickly, and then to score the winning goal, it's just such a testament to him. Phil is cool. I have no adult issues. We just debate in an adult fashion. Totally, Jez. Yeah, I know. It's never like, I love all you guys in the chat. You have different opinions, but okay. Phil is cool. I agree, and Jez is very cool. Both very cool. All Arsenal fans are cool. Most of them, the reasonable ones. You going to win the league, Fran? Is that a question? I hate it. Stop putting me on the spot. But right now, I think we definitely can. I think so. And do you know why? Because I feel like it's a case of like, now our squad is so much better. If we get a few players out, the world's not going to crumble. Last season, it was so much like, unless we have this starting 11, like we go down a huge level. Whereas now we have, I think, such depth, and now we've just seen like discipline, even when we don't have like our best team. We can really defend well and like nick a goal out of nothing. So I think we can win the league, and I think we should. So, right, Martinelli. Another picture of Martinelli. I've given him a 10. Tomiyasu came on, and then in response to Doku, and then Arteta just went like, oh no, Doku like attacked Ben White instead. Then Ben White nutmegged him. It was beautiful. Tomiyasu went rogue and actually played part in the goal. I really rate Tomiyasu. I'm glad that he's fit again. I know the only problem is he's slightly injury prone. For me, he's gonna get Fran, the pressure question. Which question, man? I'm not sure which question you mean, man. Sorry if I missed a couple of your comments. So you're saying Tommy gets a 7. Gil saying the Havertz lack of confidence is great. If he'd taken that shot, it would have been the first ball on the moon. The lazy pass was more in character. Honestly. He just went like, nah, no thanks, Martinelli, you have it. And I actually can't think of like a better thing that you could have done. So, Fran, ignoring. Don't worry. Crispy, hey, it's been so good to like talk to you. You said we can do it now that Partey and Gabby are back. I have faith. The City win is hopefully the launch pad. Really, absolutely. It was such an important game because I was saying either you're going to shut up all the doubts and people are going to say, you know, Arsenal were not a one-season wonder. They can do it this time. They're not worse than last season. All the criticism was just going to get double as hard. And sometimes games are that important. You say it's only one game, but sometimes the way that the season transpires and the narratives in the press mean that one game is that important in terms of the way people talk about your team and the way the players will feel. Sometimes a lot more is riding on one game than just one game's results. And this was one of them, and it went the right way for us. So it was fantastic. Tomiyasu 7. I agree with that. Let's give Tommy a 7. He's great. Havertz set up the goal and must have had a nosebleed. Yeah, it was probably too much for him, too much excitement. Partey. I like this. I like this. Yeah, look at him. So Thomas Partey, just having him back and with Reiss was just beautiful. I worry about how reliant we are on him, but now we know that Reiss can play that position pretty well. Partey's the best at it, and then if Reiss is the left 8, then that's just amazing. But seeing him, you know, the whole team, I thought Jorginho did a really good job, but Partey is just like different gravy. Anthony saying, Martinelli came on, changed the game. Partey's changed the game around, and with his goal, I'll give him an 8 because he didn't start the game. Yeah, it's crazy. Save my faith when there's 2 games left of the season. Come on, Arsenal. Yeah, I'm not going to say too early that we're going to win because that broke my heart last year. But Jack saying, Havertz and Nketiah are my favourite Arsenal players. Is there something wrong with me? Are you serious? Because I might have to say, like, yes. Not really, but like that's a really acquired taste. They're so absent in games. Crispy saying, I hope he didn't get injured from that maneuver as he's made of Weetabix. Yeah, he's probably pulled his groin again. But when he's fit, I'll give him an 8. Yeah. Right, there we are. So Poati, I can't spell today. Havertz, I mean, he didn't do much, but when he did, he got an assist. So I'm going to give him an 8. I can't really ask much more from him. Really, he got an assist. If he's getting there slowly but surely, he is getting there. So far too slowly, I think. But anyway, final. You're dead serious. I'm just saying, yeah, there is me. Guys, Jack Napier is dead serious that Havertz and Nketiah are his favourite players. You must be joking. I'm dead serious. I love Nketiah's work rate and Havertz's underrated IQ and technique. Either you're a complete visionary and see something that the rest of us don't, which could be the case, you know, in a year, maybe we'll come back and be like, Jack Napier called it. Those guys are outrageous. Or you need help. But you know, I love that. I love that. Back your boys, you know. They surely need some support right now from a personal standpoint, I think. I'm sure they'll really appreciate that. So go for it, you know, enjoy what you enjoy. Jack Napier would get along well with Lee from Gooner Gathering. Yeah, Lee loves those guys too. Right, Fran saying, watch this. Martinelli 9, Gabriel 9, Saliba and Reiss get a 10. Is that static or has someone hacked your account? Because that can't be you. Static does famously low ratings. But it's just because he's got high standards. I'm amazed. I doubt even Arteta would agree with that. Even Arteta would be like, you serious? I love it though, Jack. I love it. Check the date. It could be April the 1st in Jack's universe. No offense, Jack. The chat are suitably surprised. That's funny. It's all love, Jack. It's all love, but you should get your eyes tested. Right, we've got a couple of questions. I've started a few questions. Let's all answer them, okay? So the first one was from Arsenal Manic, and it said, do we have the depth and quality to repeat these kind of results on a regular basis, or do we need to strengthen in the window? I think we definitely need to strengthen the window, especially in the backup position for Saka, because we've seen that he's not in fact indestructible and he can be injured. You're so funny. I know. Jack. Oh, it's okay, Jack. I'm sorry. Don't be upset. I like Havertz too. I think he's a really cool guy. Jack Napier's always been a joker. Oh, it's okay. Everyone can like what they like. I love Hawaiian pizza, and there go all my subscribers. Anyway, so the question. Back to the question. Where's it gone? So I think we definitely need a backup for Saka because he we know he's like a monster, but he can't play this many games. Do we need strength in the window? It's hard. Like this, do we need a striker question is hard because personally I think Jesus, if given the chance, will score. But maybe we need someone that's even better than Jesus to push him. But I think if I was Jesus, I would want to prove that I can be that number 9. He came into Arsenal wanting to be the number 9, which he said in an interview now in the international break, like that's the position he wants to play, and that's why he came to Arsenal. So since kind of hearing that, I'm thinking, let's give him a chance. However, I am desperate to have Ivan Toney. I think he is the kind of nasty player that we need sometimes, who's just like a bit ruthless, that kind of thing. So, however, if we can like sneakily get one of the top players in the world, which is the players that we should be aiming for before anyone else is interested in it over the summer. Like I know Osimhen's having like a crazy time at Napoli and he's like falling out with the fans and stuff. If you can poach someone like that, then do it. That's my take. Pedro Neto as well, as a backup for Saka. Yeah, really good player, really good. So next question, Anthony says, question, Fran. Would you have Ramsdale in goal or Raya, knowing he made a few mistakes in the Champions League game and the Man City game? See, it's a really good question. If I was the manager, I would want Ramsdale to go back in and fully rotate the 2 goalkeepers like Arteta said he was going to. However, I think in reality, Raya is the new number 1, and it's clearly because he thinks he can do some things that Ramsdale can't do. I think he wants his goalkeeper to be more of like a 5th defender in the back 4. And maybe he doesn't trust Ramsdale to do that. And he wants them to be able to deal with playing the ball in more high pressure moments. But then again, Raya hasn't really like been amazing at that. He's looked rattled, but I can only presume he's going to get better and better. So for me, I'd want Ramsdale in because I'd want to rotate them. I always say that when I was in sport, it was me and another goalkeeper. And if I'd been training really well and the other guy had been making mistakes, I'd start to feel really like that it was unfair, and I'd start to get annoyed. Like, look, I deserve a game now. She's making mistakes. I'm training really well. And no matter how cool you are of a guy, like Ramsdale's awesome. He's got class. We know this. I think you would start to get annoyed. So I'd want Ramsdale to start. Right. Taib saying, Fran, do you think Arsenal will sign Ivan Toney in January? I hope so. But January, it's that old joke, like January for most clubs is a transfer window. January for Arsenal is just January. Like, we don't seem to be doing much. I often feel quite my light. I felt quite disappointed last January because we had the opportunity to really push on and win the league, and instead we kind of made like okay signings. Trossard was awesome, but Jorginho was kind of underwhelming. I thought we needed stronger signings to really push on and win the league. So I don't really have high hopes for January, but surprise me, Arsenal. David said, do you think Ramsdale will leave at the end of the season? I think if he's not given his fair share of games, then he will. Jordan says, will you guys use Raya or Ramsdale for next week, derby against Chelsea? He'll use Raya, I think. Jez asked, if Arteta doesn't win the Prem or Champions League, would you keep him as a manager then? I said I would, but it's not that clear cut. It depends kind of how we miss out. Crispy asked, do you think Havertz starting would have had a bigger impact since City struggle with the target man strategy? Maybe, but I also think that I like seeing Havertz come on in the second half because it's a bit less pressure for him. He's clearly like a confidence player, right? And so I think it may have done more harm than good starting him because he might have got like overwhelmed by the occasion. I'm liking Arteta realising that like, okay, he's not like confident enough to be a starter yet and bringing him on with a bit less pressure as an impact sub. So I personally like the way it went, but I don't rate Eddie. So, yeah. BX Gunner saying, Eddie may be a late bloomer. Look at Rashford having a breakout year last season and Watkins now both older than Eddie. That's a really good point. Yeah, really good point. Watkins now. I mean, none of us saw that coming really, unless I suppose maybe his coach did. Maybe like Arteta's seeing Eddie's season coming. Maybe it's just like a few things need to be knitted together. But what annoys me is like, I want players that are good now and good enough to win the league now, because it's been 20 years, as Jez says. And last year we came so close. I'm fed up of like, this player will be good soon. I'd rather bring in someone that can do the job for us now, you know? So, oh my gosh, since we answered those questions, I've had like 30 comments. You guys, you're mad. This is totally random. I highly recommend Moroccan chicken pizza. That is totally random, but we respect all opinions here. So a couple of your comments saying, get Tony, sell Eddie. We just need a designated striker instead of all the moving around. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Arsenal Money getting overconfident, saying let's get to 50. Next stream in a couple of days. So I'm aiming to do streams every other day. We'll try and get to 50, okay? So I'll see you guys the day after tomorrow. I agree, Pablo. Neto at Wolves, what a baller he is. Yeah, he's great. Thank you, Bertie. You've been here the whole time. Yeah, I'm going to head off to... It's somehow managed to be 2 hours and 20 minutes worth of stream, and now I have to go and do timestamps. And I'm not very pleased with this stream because my PowerPoint didn't work, but you guys have been so kind and understanding to stay, even though I took like 10 minutes trying to make the PowerPoint work. So I really appreciate you. I'm getting really happy with the fact that when I come on stream, I think some people will be there, because the first couple, especially on this newest channel, you'd be looking, there's like one person, then it would go down to 0, then one person, then 0. And now I feel like you guys are going to be here. So it's getting more and more fun each stream, and I'm growing in confidence, and that's thanks to you all. So thank you again. Thank you so much. I'll see you the day after tomorrow. And a reminder, if you want to see some of my art, which is like behind me, and a bit more about me and things like that, some behind the scenes stuff, then go to golartzo.com. I've actually, after speaking to you guys, I've lowered the price of the clothing. So now t-shirts are $19.99 and hoodies are $29.99. I think that's a bit more reasonable. They were a bit high before. So thank you so much, guys. I'll see you the day after tomorrow. Thank you for listening. I don't know how you can just listen to me like for so long. Thank you. Take care. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Static. Good luck with your night shift. All the best to you guys. Gil just saying, how do you like being an Arsenal fan? I'm loving it. My brother is a Spuds fan and things could have been so much different. Phew. Yeah, it feels really good being a Gooner at the moment. I love our team. I love our manager. I'll see you guys soon, okay? Thank you so much for the support. And especially you guys who've been here all evening. I appreciate that so much, and I don't know how you do it. But I'll see you in a day or two, okay? Thank you, guys. Nice to see you too, Crispy. Thank you so much, everyone. See ya. Bye.